This show is sponsored by Horizon HVAC, who you can count on for all of your heating and cooling needs. Today's episode is brought to you by Burns Roofing, your trusted roofing experts right here in Rhode Island. Whether you're in need of repairs, a roof full replacement, or just some professional advice, Burns Roofing has you covered. With their years of experience and commitment to quality, you can rest easy knowing your home is in good hands. Call Burns Roofing for all your roofing needs. All right, we're here with three-time Super Bowl champion Patrick Pass and his wife Monique Pass. Thank you guys for coming in. It's an honor to have you on, man. I know that you don't do a lot of podcasts. I was trying to do some research on you, just outside of the research that I already know just from watching, sports. I'm like, I can't find anything on him, but so this is exciting to have you on and kind of just get to know you a little bit.
Yeah. Well, there's just another way of people get to see me outside of the helmets and the pads and Gillette Stadium and shit like that, but I'm one of the cool guys.
Yeah,
I'm cool. I'm humble. I get along well with everybody. I'm kind of fun to be around too at times.
Yeah,
I've heard that. That's all I've heard.
I'm fun to be around, and as you can see, I got a big thing of barbecue sauce in front of me. From my
Who's
guy.
that from?
This is Bug Jermaine. He's downstairs. Bugged Out Barbecue. Started out cutting hair years ago, and I think he's found his calling in barbecue and stuff like that. But this is what I love doing. So I get a bottle of barbecue sauce from him, and summertime, springtime, that's what we do. I barbecue, I grill, and I'm from the South, so that's all we do. Once that weather hit warm, Southerners, we out there on the grill.
Yeah.
We're grilling, we're cooking, we're laughing, we're drinking. And that's what I love doing in the spring and the summer. I get to watch my kids jump in the pool. They get to come to me. Dad, I want a hamburger, hot dog. I have barbecue sauce. And life is good. Life is good.
Yeah, man. We have our propane. Well, we have our gas hooked up right to our grill. So I never got.
Same.
You too?
Yeah.
Well, we did until my husband and my father thought it was a good idea to take it off and just do propane. Because our pool heater is hooked up to the gas line to the house, so they thought it wouldn't,
So I have 3 grills at the house. I have a charcoal, I have propane, then I have the wood pellet. So
The Traeger? Is it the Traeger?
it's what is it? Pit boss.
Yeah, it's similar to the Traegers. Yeah. I love those.
But there's a new one that I want to get where I can just do it from the phone, stuff like that. So
nice. Yeah.
set the
So temperature control from the phone?
From the phone, yeah. I'm always trying new stuff. I love trying new recipes and stuff like that. So
yeah, cooking is one of those things where I never was taught how to do it.
Well, let me tell you something.
But I got really good at it.
I didn't marry this chica for cooking.
Listen. I think we're in the same. We're in the same boat, brother. We're in the same boat.
I love his cooking.
So I do pretty much I'm gonna go. Well, in the beginning, I'm gonna say it's probably 98% of the cooking. But I do. I can't admit now. She's in the kitchen and she's trying recipes, and it turns out pretty damn good. But that's when she's cooking with love. Most of the time, she just want to whip the shit up,
whipping it up,
just get out of there. Cooking is not her thing.
I won't even eat after I cook. I'm like, no, I don't even want to eat.
I expended all my energy. Thank you.
I'm good.
So when I'm cooking, it's like I don't want nobody in the kitchen. I don't want nobody in the grill. I don't want nobody behind me when I'm grilling. Just move out the way. Let me do my thing, and we eat when it's done. You know what I'm saying? That's just me. But like I said, I didn't marry her for cooking, so we balance each other out. We have a thing. If I cook, she cleans. She cook, I clean. There's no.
That's cool.
That's cool, man.
Yeah, I love that.
How'd you guys meet?
Yes, I'm so excited to hear.
Christ, we both have like different versions of the story.
Yeah, you have your. I don't know what your version is. We met in 2000 at a salon that I was working at, and he came in and I started cutting his hair. At first, he didn't want me to cut his hair because I was a girl.
Females.
He didn't know that I was the first girl barber of Atomic Salon.
Ooh.
Oh, really?
Yes.
That's awesome.
I was the first. Yeah, I was the first female barber at Atomic
But that's not
Salon.
where I met you, though.
It was in Attleboro. North Attleboro?
Yeah, Attleboro.
So you get fades, fades and everything? You know how you cut?
She cut my hair. She just cut my hair 2 days ago.
Nice.
Wow, that was babe.
Well, I fired her for about 5 years. She tried to give me a freaking high fade. I'm like, what the hell are you doing? I haven't had a high fade in years.
Yeah.
But no,
he was like, I'm not getting my hair cut by a girl. I'm like, deuces. I don't need you. I don't need to cut your hair. Bye. So he left, and then he ended up coming back, and then he wouldn't leave me alone.
The rest is history.
Yeah. So that was in 2000. So you guys have been married now for how long?
So I was married before. that didn't last. But we always remained really, really good friends. Before anything, we was really good friends. Like, she was one of the first ones when I got to New England. She kind of showed me around, like, the Massachusetts area, Rhode Island area. She introduced me to all her friends. Like, all her friends now, we're, like, all family now.
Yeah.
Like, all her girlfriends that she introduced me to, we're, like, all family now. So I would call her, and she would, like, hey, I'm going to take you to this spot. We'll go out and have fun and stuff like that. And then I ended up getting married before that. And she told me from the beginning that it wasn't going to work. But I was like,
Don't do it. She said,
I'm
don't
like,
do it.
how do you know? Like, but, she was right.
I laid out everything that was going to happen.
Did you know her?
No.
No. She was from a girl from Georgia.
Yeah.
So when that didn't work out, I was like, shit. You know what? Did I miss my calling from, being a family man? Because all I wanted to do was to be a family man, be a husband, raise my kids, and just fucking have fun. You know what I'm saying? So when that situation ended, that's when I started, like, chasing her really hard at the time. Because she told me, she was like, it's not going to work.
What was up?
And then, we've been married 15 years. Because Bella's 14, so
That's an accomplishment.
15
man.
Yeah,
years.
the
Yeah.
longevity.
I ended up moving to Miami in 2004 because I was like, I got to get out of this. Like, I love him. I can't be here. And he would not leave me alone. I lived there for almost 2 years, and when I would come back, I would see him. I'm like, I can't do this.
Yeah.
And his thing was just going down south, and it was timing. I'm glad it happened when it did.
Yeah.
Versus
When you have a connection that strong,
Yeah.
and like you can't avoid it, then it's just like sometimes you gotta, you obviously did the right thing.
Yeah, my thing is I didn't want my situation to deter me from being the man and the husband that I wanted to be with her. So I was like, you know what? I'm glad it did happen. I hated that it happened that way, but that situation made me a much better husband, a much better father, a much better person because of the trials and tribulations I did go through with her. But with her, it's like, I'm not going to bring that shit into this marriage. We're going to communicate. We're going to talk. We're going to do something. Like, we don't even have arguments.
No, we don't. I have to say one thing I do respect from him a lot is when we first were, getting married. He sat down. He's like, listen, I don't care how much, like, if we argue and, it's like in a heated moment, we can never call each other out of our name. Like, I can't call you a bitch. Like, you can't call me, like, you can't be like, fuck you. You know what I mean?
That's so important.
Yeah.
And we don't.
Yeah.
And we haven't. He's like, because when we do make up, that is still going to sit in the back of your head.
That is so
Or
true.
using stuff like digging deep, those deep jabs.
Yeah.
I've been in relationships like that, and we're not even close to that either. Like, we
Yeah.
don't argue. We don't do any of that
Yeah.
crap. And if we do, it's just small little stuff back and forth
Yeah.
that we kind of laugh about. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? It's like we know we're both
that's exactly
we know
what it
we're
is.
both mad, but we're
Yeah.
just like kind of
Yeah,
like
like,
whatever. But when you do those deep jabs,
Yeah.
like, you don't
It
forget
cuts.
that stuff.
It's a million cuts. And I tell her all the time, I'm like, and I tell my friends this too. Like, when you're in a relationship and you have kids, like,
Your kids see that.
Don't do it in front of your kids.
Yeah.
'Cause what are you really teaching them? All right, you're not teaching them how to love and be respectful. So when my kids see us, they don't see us mad at each other. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm probably one of the more goofy one in the family. Yeah. Like, I'm always dancing, or I'm grabbing her ass, or I'm grabbing her. Like, my kids get jealous as hell when we hugging and we're kissing. Like, especially my little one, she will come over there and wedge her little self in between us.
She'll pull me by my hair like whiplash.
And push her away like,
Yeah.
this is my daddy. But, that's what I want, though, because in about a few years, I'm not going to have that with my girl.
Yeah.
They're going to be driving and out of the house and doing their own
How old are
thing.
they?
8 and 14. But I have 3 others from,
So
relationship,
it
they're
happens
grown.
so quick.
It's so quick, yeah.
Yeah.
It's man, I got a 14-year-old now. He's about to be 15, and it's just like the difference that difference between just 12 and 14.
Oh yeah.
it's a
huge.
different
It's
person.
a huge
Yeah.
yes.
It's a different person.
Because they're
and-
becoming their own person.
Yeah.
And
And they
the
know they're like
difference.
1 year away from driving and wanting to
yeah.
do shit on their
Yeah.
own. You know what I'm saying?
It's pretty smooth, like from all the way up till 11, 12.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's pretty much
Yeah.
like you know what to expect.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it's just like,
Because you
all
pretty
right,
much
they're-
have control over them at that time.
Yeah.
Once they get like 14, 15, it's like, I'm going to take your phone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
That's all the control, yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
So it sounds like you're a very big family man. Like, how did you grow up around that? Did you have a good family growing up?
Yeah, I grew up in Georgia. So I grew up in the projects in Georgia, and we didn't have shit in Georgia. I'm going to be honest with you. We all lived in a 2-bedroom apartment. It was me, my grandmother, my mom, and then my sisters, and then my cousin would come over, and it was like pretty much 8 of us in a 2-bedroom. So we made it happen. But at the same time, it was like, this is my family. You know what I'm saying? This is all I know. You know, my aunt lived next door with her 2 kids, and my other aunt and my uncle lived, you know, another building down. Then my other aunt. So it was like 20 of us in the same apartment complex. So, but it was like my immediate family. It was like 8 of us in a 2-bedroom. But it was like we all loved each other. It was just love. You know what I'm saying? Like I would wake up, didn't know what I was going to eat, but it didn't matter because I can go to one of my auntie's house, or I can go down to my friend's house who considered me family. You know what I'm saying? But it was. And then I'm just sitting here thinking, like, this is all I wanted. Like, this is love. This is how we show love. Even though we didn't have much to eat, I didn't have those new shoes, those new Jordans came out. You know what I'm saying? Until I ended up moving with my coach. We can talk about that later. But it was just like I didn't have a house and a yard and you know all that shit growing up. But it didn't matter to me because we was like one big, tight, happy family. Yeah. So growing up, that's all I wanted. I didn't want to be like my dad. Feel like that. And
was he around like bad influence?
I wouldn't say that. He was just he was a ladies' man.
Oh, okay.
Just think about this. He was a truck driver. So
he made a lot of stops.
Yeah, a lot of stops.
Okay.
A lot of stops.
He's the last of 18.
Okay, Papa Pass.
The last of 18.
Last 18.
18
You're the
kids?
baby of 18.
Baby.
He had 18 kids.
Yes.
Wow.
And I'm the last. Imagine that. I'm the last of that breed right there.
You're the last stop.
Incredible.
Yeah, I'm the last stop.
That's
Yep.
incredible. Is there athletes out of those 18 or other athletes?
I just know of pretty much 5 or 6 of my siblings. I know one's in jail. I know one's in jail for murder, and then one passed away from a heart attack, and then the other 5 from his wife. They're real close, and they look at me. They call me the baby brothers, which I am. But I'm sure they all play some sports because all the brothers are all built the same. Yeah. We all have that thick upper body and stuff like that. But as far as like professional, I don't think anyone went pro besides me.
How did that transpire? How did you become professional?
You know what? It was one of those things where every day I was perfecting my craft. Didn't know it, but just by default, because I was always outside playing football, baseball, basketball, stickball, golf. I mean, we would go in the woods and find tennis ball and just pick up street baseball. Yeah. And we would do it every day, or whether we play football every day. So, and then I had so much energy. My aunt came to me and said, "Hey, I'm signing you asses up for football." It was me and my cousin, because we was leaving the neighborhood, and we was going to the stores, but we was stealing. And we would like go and get like, I don't know if you guys remember Voltron. It was like this
the Transformer?
It was almost like a Transformer, but it was called Voltron.
Yeah, I remember, So
we would go and we would steal Voltrons. And we would come back. One day we got caught. And she was like, "I'm taking you little assholes. I'm gonna sign you up for football. That way you can stay out of trouble." Like, okay.
It sounds good.
Yeah, it sounds good. I do that. You know,
it's a punishment.
It was like the closest thing I could do because we was fighting and shit. That was the closest thing I could do from, kicking somebody's ass without going to jail. So I was like, all right, this is cool. Yeah. Sign me up, and then the rest was history. It was just like I fell in love with it. And then I started playing baseball, then I fell in love with that. So people don't know I got drafted in baseball before I got drafted in football.
Oh, wow.
Really?
Yeah. So right out of high school, 6 days after my last graduation in June, I was taking off as an 18-year-old kid. I was taking off in Florida. First time, like, really getting on the flight, like, scared as shit, didn't know what was going on, because I was like, wow, I'm leaving. Yeah. I'm leaving the state of Georgia, where I grew up at, to go play baseball with the Florida Marlins. I have no idea what I was getting into, who's my teammates. But like I said, I'm a people person, so it didn't take me long to, like, fit in. So when I got down there, I was like, oh, I got all the Dominicans on my team that speaking Spanish, but they love me. They love me because I used to play this like rap music to them, and I used to do this little dance for them. And every day they were like, pass. It was this song.
No, that's how it is in like those camaraderie groups. Yeah. It's like those type of people stand out.
Yeah, it was fun. We had a good time.
Before we dig into that a little bit. And listen, to make it in sports back then is totally different. Like they didn't have like what they have today, like with social media and like you can kind of scout somebody just from like popping up out of nowhere. Like, where'd this guy come from? Oh, we saw him on a reel.
Right.
We're flying him out. You had to have raw talent, raw, like you were either gonna make it or you weren't. Yeah. It was totally different back then. But I want to know about your childhood and like how you grew up, because you guys both now come together, right?
You want the platinum spoon version or the gold spoon version?
Whatever version,
Right,
my love.
whatever.
Because I want to know like how the family bond came together and how you guys 15 years of a marriage is an accomplishment.
It's incredible.
However way you want to look at it.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't all peaches and cream.
And I'm sure. Listen, it never is. I don't think anybody that says that it would be, they would probably be lying.
Yeah.
But how was your childhood like, and how did you grow up?
I mean, I had a normal, great childhood.
Good.
You know
That's
what I mean?
good.
Like my brothers, my sister, my parents were great. You know, did everything for us. Like he says, you were born with a silver spoon in your mouth. I'm like, you can't be mad at that because my parents were, you know what I mean? Like
Silver
my
napkin.
parents, like were able to give us, you know,
They did
everything
it.
that they wanted to do for us, or like that we wanted. So I mean, I would love to do it for my kids too.
Yeah.
That's
To
what we
put it
do.
in perspective, the chick never washed clothes, never even touched a dryer until she was 21.
Wow.
That's when she moved to Florida. She had to call her
That's
mom.
because my mom has OCD.
Do you guys want to give that same thing to your kids?
No, hell no. Nope. Mm-mm.
I respect
No,
that.
no, I
respect
My
that.
parents already do with my kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of
Dude,
like,
it's tough. You know, listen. I caught myself the other day, and I told you, and I was like, I'm doing too much for him.
Yeah.
Right, like he's got it too good. My
Yeah.
son.
Yeah.
You know, there's you know, I'm getting him into jujitsu now, and he's getting into boxing and this and that. But it's like when I give him more things, it's like he feels less interested in the things that are more important that you should
Right.
be doing.
Yeah,
Right, right.
exactly.
You know what I
that's-
mean?
Yeah.
It's a very fine line of like spoiling somebody and then actually kind of like destructing them a little bit.
No,
It's almost
you're
like
right.
self-destructive.
You're 100%
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
no, my daughter, she's 14, and I'm so tough on her, and I know she knows that I'm tough on her, but I just want her to be like so independent,
Yeah.
and not having to depend on someone. So she knows that she's cleaning her room, she's doing well when she remembers to clean her room. Her own laundry, I have her doing her own laundry, but she's a hell of a cook though. At 14, she loves baking, she
She
loves
loves baking,
cooking.
yeah.
Does she?
So she would cook family dinners at the house for us.
She will,
That's
yep.
awesome.
Yeah, she'll get that on the grill and grill
That's
steaks
awesome.
and stuff like that. But
Yeah,
That's
that's
a good
awesome.
skill.
so I'm not handicapping her at all because
Yeah.
I want her to know like the struggles and being able to overcome adversities and stuff like that. I just hate the fact that when she comes home, she has homework and she asks me to help with the homework before even bringing the homework out. I'm just like, you haven't
Before
even
go-
tried
Before
is it?
trying
do
it
the
Yeah.
homework. Like,
Yeah.
try it first and
Yeah.
then come to me. So she's really like getting into that. But she's coming to her own little lady. But like, I would never. I couldn't do what her parents did because
Yeah.
I know that she grew up. And people say she's privileged and stuff like that. But her dad worked hard, and he still is.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
still a
That's
hard-
the thing. It's
Yeah.
like sometimes it's like you can't. It's like it is what it is. Like
Yeah.
right. Like
It's
everybody
nothing to be
has.
ashamed about.
It's
It's
not.
not.
It's
Right,
not.
right.
Because I
Something
see
proud.
like.
My father came here with nothing.
And if he
Really?
did right,
Nothing.
so
From
he did
Italy?
right. He did, and to give you what he gave you, I mean that's
Yeah,
It's
no,
a
he
reward.
can't
Yeah,
fault
I mean,
that.
he's very humble, my father.
Very,
like, still, I mean, to
very,
this day,
very,
like,
yes.
he's
Italian?
very Italian,
Yes,
very
off the
successful.
boat Italian, like straight up, you can't really understand
what
he's
is
saying.
what does he do?
He's an electrical contractor. He owns Action Conveyor Technologies and Duff Electric.
Yeah, see,
Wow.
So he
yeah.
used to do a lot of stuff with the government, like overseas and stuff like that. So-
Yeah.
government
yeah,
work.
government. Yeah, he's probably the hardest worker I've
Yeah.
ever seen.
Really?
Yeah,
For his
he still
age.
has his
And-
from when he lived in Italy when he was a kid. He had nothing too. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like he made shoes out of tires, so
my
he has them
gosh.
hanging up in his office.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, so
I
it's
seen
like,
him
he's like
there.
never
Wow.
forget where you
Just
came
to
from.
remind yourself.
Love,
Yeah.
love his grandkids. Love me
Yeah.
probably even more than his regular teasing.
Yeah.
But no, he's like, and I look at my in-laws. I don't even call them in-laws, but because I don't have my mom and dad, so I look at them as my mom and dad.
Yeah, that's
And they look
beautiful.
at me as their son. You know what I'm saying? My mother-in-law would not go anywhere without me. She knows that I'm gonna do everything I can to protect them because she know how I am with my family, with my girls.
Yeah.
And she called me all the time. Hey, I have an appointment. Can you drive me here? I'm like, yeah, anything. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
That's awesome.
No, that's cool, man.
but yeah, it was like I said, it wasn't all peaches and cream in the beginning. And she tell me all the time. She was like,
Life lessons.
yeah, she like you know, she'll have her moments when she have her drink or two.
Who's that, the mom?
Yeah, her Cosmos.
Oh, okay, yeah.
She we have these conversations. She was like, you know, Patrick, you really taught me something. You've changed the way I've thinking, and you know, I love you. And I'm glad that you did. And you know, I'm just like, wow, because if you know my mother-in-law, she's a tough lady. And it's hard to get her to say, I love you sometimes.
Isn't it like...
But she tell me all the time how much, you know, she adores me and loves me.
He's pretty much her favorite child.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, I just, you know, she had some appointments the other day, and, you know, she kind of like slipped in the driveway and, you know, fell and hurt herself. And, you know, because she, if you know her, she's just like, she's up at 4 and she's in bed at 7, and she's just moving all day long. And I told her, I said, listen, you know, after her appointment, everything was fine. I said, listen, you have to fucking relax.
Yeah.
I said, I have no idea what I'd do without you if you're not here. All right, this is a wake-up call. Your body telling you to relax.
70.
Yeah, like a week ago.
This reminds me of Nani a lot.
Yeah.
A lot. Is she Italian too?
My mom's French.
French?
Oh, wow.
I usually don't tell people
beautiful.
my mom's French.
No, it's good. I'm French and Italian too.
Half French.
If people ask me, I say I'm Italian.
Yeah.
I say I'm Italian.
But my grandmother on my father's side is Italian. Everybody else, I mean, is French. Everybody else is Italian. I have that little bit of French in me.
Yeah.
So no, you know, my extended family now just like so much support.
Yeah,
you know,
that's
whatever it is just supportive. Her brother, probably the best uncle in the world that I know. He grabs the kids. He don't have kids yet, but he would come get my 2 daughters and my niece and my nephew and have movie nights. When I tell you, it's just not a normal movie night with him. He print tickets.
Yeah.
He print tickets
does? Yeah.
for the kids,
Oh, that's
and you know,
fun.
and they have to like pay for the tickets before they walk in the door with fake money.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and he have a stash of like all the candy you can think of upstairs in the popcorn maker. And it's a legit movie night for the girls.
Yeah, that's
and
cool.
they love it. Yeah. I said these are memories. And he always probably like once a month he'll have something for the girls and my little nephew. But yeah,
That's cool. The way you when we first met and I was watching how your parenting techniques were, I at first didn't like them.
Yeah.
And I didn't because I thought you were giving them too much independence.
Yeah.
Right? I
Okay.
thought you were letting them do too much on their own, but like as time went on, I'm like, I really respect it now and I love it because like now they do everything by themselves.
Right.
Yeah.
And when you ask them to do something, they do the dishes, they make their bed, they read. You know, we have this thing now where it's like you gotta read before you play your games.
Yeah.
Or like during the week, they don't even play video games. It's you got to read this book. I want you to get this book done.
Yeah.
And I try to get them engaging books and like stuff that they'll like. And then we'll slip in like a mindset book. And
Yeah.
then we'll get them like a book like Holes. And then we'll get another.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, but yeah, it's just something that just made me think about it when they were saying that. It's just it was a different because I wasn't used to that.
Mm-hmm.
But it worked because they're just way more independent than what I'm used to seeing.
yeah. I think my 8-year-old is more independent than my 14-year-old.
Really?
You say independent?
Yeah.
Giselle.
She's the one. She will go in and she would but she does it to compete with her sister and try to make her sister jealous. She'll go in there and say she made her bed, and while Bella's bed is like all crazy and shit, but she does it to compete with Bella.
Yeah.
But I have them on this thing during the course of a week. They both have 5 strikes, so it's 10 strikes total for them. And in the way they get a strike, and strikes are bad. And the way they can get a strike is that if I have to tell them to do something more than once, it's a strike. And they have to know that they gotta.
They don't listen to me.
Shoes and shit on the floor. I can't stand when there's shoes and bags on the floor, the dishes in the sink and stuff like that. You know, if I have to tell them, it's a strike. So if they get more than 10, then they know. Because they love Crazy Crab, so I'll take them to Crazy Crab. It's something that at the end of the week, whatever they want to do, they get from me. As opposed to me just doing what they ask me to do.
Yeah.
Because they're not working towards anything. So I'm getting them to the point where they have to work towards something that they want towards the end of the week. And so far I haven't had any problems.
Glad, glad that works for you.
Yeah, I mean, with her is like whatever.
I know, it's
your
totally
fucking
different. It's
father.
totally different.
You know,
I love that balance, though.
Yeah.
It's nice to have the male and female. It was divinely created, and
Yes,
I see that
yes.
now.
Yeah.
But, yeah, like, I was starting to actually get too lenient with my letting them be, independent because my mom, she passed away when I was 15. So you learn that, without an adult, you have to survive.
Yes,
So for me, that's where my parenting came from. Like, no, you need to know how to do your own laundry.
Yeah.
I'm
Oh, yeah.
not doing it. This and that. But then, but when they're that competent, then you get to, almost lazy as a parent too.
Yeah.
And I was getting there. I was like, okay, well, they've done this. They'll be fine. They'll be fine. So he's helped me come back into check. Like, I can't be too lenient in that area because they still need.
Yeah.
I think the one thing about us that balances us out is that I don't try to overstep her as a mom. I let her do her thing as a mom until I realize that, and she's a little feisty, maybe a little too feisty. So I feel like sometimes I have on a referee.
I tell my friends all the time, I'm like, listen, if Pat ever wanted to leave me, he would totally get the kids 100%. If they ever went through our text messages,
you do not
I'm
hear
like,
that a
look, I'm
lot.
going to be on fucking channel 10, 12, and I'm going to jail today.
I said, I know I'm not going to a nursing home with these two. They'll take me in, but with you,
They'll leave me for dead.
Yes.
1000%.
But I never overstep
Yeah.
parenting. I let her do her thing until I realized that if the kids are trying to be jerks to her, that's the only time I step in.
Yeah.
I'm like, you're not going to talk like that to your
so
mom.
hot.
You're not going to talk like that
Right?
to your mom. You know what I'm saying?
Like, thank you.
But I would let her do her thing. You know what I'm saying? Let them figure it out because at the end of the day, they going to have to figure it out.
Yeah.
Between the two of them or the three of them. And I just sit back and just make sure that everything is going smooth. And then once they try to get out of line, my 14-year-old, she has a mouth. She's a split image of this one. And they clash. But I have to make sure you're 14, right? You're not going to be like that towards your mom.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen. Not in his house, not outside, not at your grandmother's, nowhere. It's not going to happen. You know what I'm saying?
I'm big on that too.
Yeah.
It's a
But I will let her do her thing.
Yeah.
But I know doing her thing can resort to violence. So I have to stay
the
near.
monitor.
Yeah, I have to stay near. Make sure that there's no punches thrown.
So going back to just being an athlete back then, it was totally different than I feel like that it is now. I feel like that you had to have that raw talent. You had to be gifted. And it was just, am I right about that? I mean, is that
you know what? It's being, when I was growing up, I'm going to say it's a lot harder
Definitely.
to even be successful or do the things you like.
To be noticed, right?
To be noticed, yes.
These days, you got social media, you got Facebook, you got
everything.
Instagram, you got Huddle, you can make your own highlight reel. I made my highlight reel. I had to get the side by side DVD. VHS tapes, and play the clip on one while I'm recording on the other.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So
Oh,
that's
wow.
now
crazy to
you
think
have
about.
you can get the shit off right offline and
put
record
it on Huddle and you
But
have
it
your
was,
highlight reel.
and then the athletes back then, I'm not gonna lie, we were way much more tougher back then than they are now.
Absolutely.
The game has changed. I can't stand some of these athletes now. They're so soft as shit.
I just think of Rodney Harrison when I think about football and how the game was.
That's when football is football.
Oh,
yeah.
Now it's almost like flag tackle.
Yeah.
You can't tackle this way. You can't do this, and it's just now it's like it's so hard for me to sit and watch a regular football game on Sundays. I just red zone it.
Yeah.
Just red
Bro,
zone
I don't
it
even
and
really
just-
watch it anymore, man.
But Saturdays,
It's just
I'm
bad.
a college football guy. I'll watch college football all day long.
That hasn't changed much.
Yeah,
that
Sundays,
hasn't changed much.
I can it used to be a time where I would sit there and do Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Thursday, and she's like,
I'm like, we're getting divorced.
yeah.
yeah.
I'm like, but you married.
That's a
I'm
lot
like,
of
but you married a football player.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
now I can as long as my Georgia team's playing, don't bother me
Yep.
because I'm gonna watch my Georgia team. But now when NFL, I can
It's
be like,
just definitely,
whatever.
definitely different.
It's
That's
so
why,
different.
when we even go to any events with the Patriots or anything like that, it's just it's always the dynasty. You'll never have that again.
No,
Nah,
never,
it's so
Never.
never,
no.
And
never.
That was you.
Yeah. It's one of those things where that goes way back to when I first started playing football. I really didn't have a goal at the time when I was a kid. I just knew that football kept me out of trouble. A little bit about my upbringing. Like, I grew up in a project, so I've seen a lot of shit. Like, I used to literally have to step over dead bodies to get to my apartment. That's how rough it was. Like, I've seen people get stabbed. I've seen people get shot, killed, murdered. I've seen everything: homicide, suicide, gangs, police brutality. I've seen it as a kid. I'm surprised that I'm not traumatized right now. But I get to tell this story to a lot of my kids. That's why I'm so involved with the community. You know what I'm saying? Coaching youth football and going in to talk to at-risk kids and just telling them my story. Not to say that I'm proud of it, but I can say that I made it out.
Right.
But I've seen it, I witnessed it. Some of my friends, that I grew up with decided to go left when I wanted to go right. And most of those kids are in jail or dead right now. And I made the right decision by doing that. And I can sit here and tell my story. But it used to be a fucking zoo coming home from practice. Like, we literally used to have to get off the truck and run in the house because you have this set of gang that are
Yeah,
mad
you
at
didn't
this
want to
set
get
of
dragged
gang.
into something.
And then they're shooting at each other, and you got kids outside.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? And I mean, like, the roughest of it was some rough shit, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
First time that was smelling a decomposed body, because I used to have to walk. My coach didn't even want to come in the neighborhood to pick us up. That's how bad it was. And because he was a white guy. He didn't want to come in because he was like, I'm not coming over there, but can you guys meet me here? So me and my cousin has to walk to, like, the set of red lights. And as we were walking, daily, it was like, man, where's that fucking smell? Like, what is that smell? And come to find out, it was like, red light here, woods here, body. And we was like, holy shit, that's what that smell was. And you'll never be able to get that out of your brains once you smell it. The first time you ever smelled a skunk before, that smell is putrid. Like, you never get that out of your brain, and that's how it was. And I'm sitting there like, man, we're lucky. We're one of the lucky ones to get out of these situations. So, and then I had another coach to come in. His name is Trey Hurst, and I can smile when I say that because he's like my father. He came in, he was like, listen, I want you to come play for me. I'm like, okay. Because he knew we played them the year before, and I smoked them. I had like 4 touchdowns in the game. So I ended up going and, playing for him, and he took me in. It was something about me that he kept gravitating towards me. Even though he came and grabbed like 20 of the kids out of the neighborhood, he was that coach who would come and get us. He didn't care. He was like, I'm coming in. I don't care who's over there. I'm coming to get you because I'm your coach.
So was that like the first mentor that came into your life that kind of like got you
He-
to that,
he moved
to
in
get
with
you
her
to
at
notice
14.
that you were something?
Yes, I ended up moving in with him, and my mom was like, she was like, son, I don't care. She was like to him, like, that's my baby. I don't care, what happens with you guys as far as playing and coaching. I need you to take care of him, right? And you taking him out of this neighborhood, that's gonna make me feel so much more free because a lot of my mom's friends can't say the same shit. A lot of her friends are burying their kids at 15, 16, and I'm one of the lucky ones to make it out. So she was like, I'm cool with it. Take care of my baby. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
So, yeah, he got me. We did the whole court thing. He became a legal guardian. I moved in, and first time I seen and slept in the house is when I moved in with him.
How old were you?
And I was 12.
Wow.
Yep.
So he saw something at 12 years old.
He did.
Yeah.
He did. And, he would come over, and this guy, he was godsend because he would tell my mom every year, don't get him anything for Christmas because she didn't have the money. But he would go, and he brought me bikes. Remember the starter jackets?
Yeah, of course.
My first
Hell
starter
yeah.
jacket was the Eagle starter jacket.
Yep.
Because the team that I played for was green and silver, so he brought me an Eagle starter jacket, Jordans.
Yep.
I got the Jordans and just all types of. I'm just like,
Wait, you have to tell him. when he moved in with them, Trey took him to a buffet, and he never he's never been to one before.
Wow.
So he got so excited that he could eat everything.
Eat
he
as
was
much as he
eating really
wanted.
fast. So,
I think I threw up.
He said you could go back up.
Yeah, I tried to put so much on my plate at one time. I didn't know I can go back.
Yeah.
So, and I was with my cousin. I remember I was with my cousin. We just ate like crazy. He's like, you know, you guys can go back and get food, right? And we was like, we can. He was like, yeah. He said you don't have to eat everything at once. So it was the first time we ever went out.
Yeah.
So as we was leaving, my cousin, it's funny now, but back then my cousin took some money off the table, and he was like, Coach Trey, somebody left their money on the table, and he was like, where'd you get that from? He was like, right there. He was like, oh no, that's a tip.
Oh, the coach left a tip. And he took the tip.
No, somebody else.
Somebody else's
Somebody left
table.
on the table. And my cousin like, well, what's a tip? And so he was my coach. He was trying to explain to us, because we never went out to a buffet. We didn't know what a tip was. And he explained all this stuff to us. Like, he the one that taught me how to shake hands.
Wow.
So when I shake hands, that's why I'm always like, boom, eye-to-eye contact. So you can tell a lot about a person by shaking hands. So every day he'd come pick me up, he would shake my hand. And I was one of those little boys at the time where I would just like barely grab him. He was like, no. He said, I want you to, boom, look me in my eyes and squeeze. That's how you're going to shake hands. So they're going to tell. So that's how I teach my kids now when I'm training them and coaching them.
Yeah.
This is how you shake hands. And
It almost sounds like the custom auto and like Tyson story a little bit.
Right.
It's you know what?
Right.
And then I come to realize that a lot of my friends that
I know I
he
cried with
used
that.
he used to take me to a lot of my friends on the team to their houses, and I didn't realize why he was doing that. And I come to
Planting
find out that
seeds.
a lot of the friends that I was going to had two parents in the house,
No.
the mom and dad. So he would take me to my boy Lance's house, to my boy Jeff's house, and we just go in house to house every weekend. But it was always two parents in the house. So he was letting me know.
He was showing that to you.
He was showing me
that this is what
this is what
this is what it should be like.
Yes, and I will always go. His mom and dad loved me for some reason. Loved me. I will always go over there. They would cook steak, potatoes, whatever. So his mom and dad was showing me love. And believe it or not, Trey never married.
Oh, really?
Never married. He never had kids.
Wow.
So the kids he brought to practice, we was his kids.
So that was like his.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that
Oh,
was
he still
his
to this
family.
day is
That
like,
was
"Hey,
his
son."
kids. Yeah.
Yeah, to this day, we
To
talk.
this day,
all-
he's
we
not
talk.
married?
Yep, nope. And we talk. We call each other to this day.
Wow.
And we talk.
Wow, he knew his mission on the
Yeah.
planet. Huh?
So-
That's
Yeah.
cool.
And I tell him, I say, you know what? This is my calling. You doing what you. I'm doing what you did for me with these kids.
Right. So now,
You know what I'm saying?
now he's doing it.
So now I'm doing it.
Right.
You know, I go and I get these kids. I'm mentoring them. You know, I'm coaching them. All the parents have my number because they know who to call when their kids act crazy. They will call me. They don't even call their father. They call me because they know
All
they
day
have to
long.
see me.
Yeah, I coached for a couple of years, and it's a lot of responsibility.
That's
It's
how we met.
yeah, that's actually how we met.
Our boys played football together.
Yeah. I used to coach at Woonsocket,
Oh, you did?
Okay.
Yep.
right here at Berry Field.
Yep. Yep.
And it was, I had to, at the time I was trying to decide which school I wanted to go to. It was between Bishop Hendrick and Woonsocket. I was like, Bishop don't need me. They have every
Like, you're gonna
support
go to-
group. Yeah, she was like, well, why you going? Yeah, she couldn't understand it.
Yeah,
But-
because I mean, yeah, I
Yeah.
get it.
You think about the platinum spoon, Bishop, the project spoon. So I was like, Bishop don't need me. They have a great support system. They have a great group of coaches. But Woonsocket is what I feel needs me because they remind me of how I grew up. So I ended up going to Woonsocket, and we ended up, going back to back. We went back to back Super Bowls over there. So, and a lot of kids I see to this day that see me, they still remember all the shit that I used to say to them in practice. And I'm like, y'all remember that when I used to say that to you
Yeah.
in practice? So a lot
No,
of
they
stuff.
listen. They
Yeah.
listen. You'd be so like I hear stuff even to this day, or I'll see a kid, at the gas station, and hey, Coach Mike, what's up, man? And
Yeah.
he'll say something that we did.
Yeah.
Or,
Yeah, yeah.
they remember and they
remember.
listen.
Yeah,
course.
Yeah.
definitely.
It's
And Woonsocket is at the time I didn't know that it was the way it was. I just knew that I felt right at the school.
Yeah.
And then come to find out there was a lot of
from what you're telling me, you picked the perfect school.
yeah.
Just from everything that I'm gathering,
Yeah.
That was the perfect
I
spot for
used
you
to
to
get
go.
nervous every
Yeah,
time
she
you
was
went.
kind of nervous because
Yeah, I
we
used to
we
get
did have some
I've heard some things.
Yes.
gang members that was on
Yeah.
the team and some drug dealers and
Yeah.
stuff like that. But at the same time, they respected the hell out of me. You know what I'm saying? Because I gave them to him. You know, I respected everyone on the team. Like everyone got the same respect. Probably not the same coaching because the different caliber players, but everybody got the same respect, and they respected me. I just tell them straight up like how it is. Like you're gonna be here if you don't do A, B, and C. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to be like that. And I'll try to give them a little spiel how I grew up and stuff like that, and they kind of took that and ran with it. And it was like, oh yeah, coach, I remember you telling the story about how you grew up and stuff like that, and now I'm doing this. I just ran into a guy that I coached last year. He's a police officer.
Oh.
He saw me at the gas. I didn't think he would recognize me. He saw me at the gas station. I didn't have dreads at the time. And he was like, Coach Pass. And I looked at him. I was like, oh, my God. Why how you doing? Boom, boom. He like, I still remember you telling me 4 hands on that dude, 4 hands on that dude.
Yeah.
And I was like, how you doing? He was like, I'm doing well. He said, I still remember those days. He's a coach us over there. He said, I miss those days. I said, look at you. I said, you made it out.
Right.
Because it's hard. A lot of these kids don't leave on soccer.
I know.
Yeah.
Most
They
of them
graduate,
don't, man.
yeah.
Most of
I
them
know,
don't.
it's sad.
But
And it's so weird. Like I'm from Cumberland, and Woonsocket's the next town over. It's such a different life.
Yeah.
It's so crazy. It's I consider myself from both towns because
Right.
my father was from Woonsocket. I spent a ton of time in Woonsocket. My first apartment was in Woonsocket.
Yeah.
Most of my time was in Woonsocket. When I met you, I was in Woonsocket. But it's two totally different worlds.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
wild.
Absolutely.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And
So I
most
used
of them
to
don't
live,
make it
in
out.
Cumberland off Bend Road my rookie year.
Oh yeah.
Um,
At the crossings, right?
Yeah,
A lot of
Cumberland.
Patriots players live there.
Everybody
Yeah,
lived
yeah.
You know
there.
the crossing still use that as the Patriots
Yeah.
used to rent
Yeah.
from here.
Yeah.
They
It was
still
fucking
utilize
30 years
that.
ago.
Yeah.
I
25
actually
years
lived
ago.
there. That was 2000. I lived there when I think you lived there, or I just knew Patriots players lived there.
What year
Yeah.
was that?
04,
Yeah.
03.
So I was
Yep.
out then. I was there from like 2000 to like
Took from Cumberland Crossings?
like 02-ish.
You were there in 02?
I was there in 2000.
Oh, yeah, and then you went
Oh,
to
and you left
And then I
02.
left. I went to.
Yeah.
I think I left maybe in 03.
Yeah, so it was probably just like, Patriots player used to live here or whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It was like.
Was
I
it
think-
just you, or was there a couple
No,
of guys?
when I was there,
There's a
it was
bunch
like
of 'em,
12
yeah.
of us.
Yeah.
I knew it was me, Antoine Harris, Greg Robinson Rondo. Then it was like Bobby Hamilton,
Yeah.
Matt. I think it was Matt Chatham was over there. It was like because we all used to leave at the same time going to the stadium.
Yeah.
So it was like all the cars leaving like early in the morning. It was all going to the stadium.
That's cool.
We was like 12 deep over there.
Yeah. So what was your high school like? What was your what sport did you dominate the most in high school? And what did you
So,
kind of
It was pretty much both baseball and football. Football more because that was my sport growing up, and then baseball. Like I said, I got drafted in baseball in '96, my senior year. So my guidance counselor, she ended up taking me in as her son as well, and she would. I remember she came to one of my baseball games, and I'm sitting there and I'm pitching on the mound, and I'm doing like this, and I couldn't see. And after the game, she like, I just made you an appointment.
wow.
I was like, for what? She was like, I saw you on the mound and you can't see. I said, I can see just fine. You didn't see those pictures? She said, yeah, but most of them was in the dirt. And she like, you have an appointment Monday at some time. I said, for what? She said, I'm taking you to go get your eyes checked.
I have to say, your teacher is like down
Oh, yeah.
south. I mean, still to this day, they still talk to him.
Really?
Like even, with Cindy, like
Well,
I mean, she sends the kids
Brian
gifts,
and,
even the
Cindy
the
Brian
dogs.
and,
yeah, it's nuts.
So I had these
You're not
two
like over
elementary school teachers that fucking loved me too, and they would take me and go see monster trucks and stuff like that.
Oh,
and they
nice.
just, you know what I'm saying? One of them loved Trey, and that was the reason why. But it was more me as well.
Yeah.
We still talk to this day.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They're very invested in our lifestyle and what we're doing. Miss Craig and Miss Barbara, I still remember that. We still talk to today. They took me to my first monster truck. What's her name? Miss Barbara's a Georgia Tech fan, and she knew I'm Georgia. But she used to cook for me and my best friend, Corey, Miss Barbara. So we would go over there and eat as well. It wasn't too many people that hated me in Georgia. It was just like, I was a good kid. So
Yeah.
it was like they looked at me as one of their own. But it was, I mostly dominated on the football field.
Yeah.
Because it was,
What'd you play in high school?
I was a running back and safety. I have my highlight film in my drawer. I have my junior and senior year highlight film in there.
Yeah.
So I watch it every now and then. I'll
That's
post
cool.
some stuff on Facebook and let them see how it was. But it was fun.
So and then Georgia, did you go to Georgia after?
Yeah, I had a scholarship to every D1 school in the nation at the time. So I could have went anywhere
Wow.
in the country. But once I signed my baseball contract, that went down the drain because I couldn't do both. I couldn't.
So your main intention was to play baseball?
No.
That was going to be your first intention? No.
I didn't even take baseball that serious.
Did you have to sign it just so you had that option?
So I could have just said I'm not going to play baseball and just play baseball in college. But when you 18 and they throwing like $200,000 at you and you coming from the projects, you like,
Yeah.
You're like, here I
shit, I can buy a lot of stuff for this.
Yeah.
You know,
That's a
so-
lot of money.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then it was paying for my school, so it's like there was no money coming out of my mom's pocket. You know, she wouldn't have $40,000 to send me to Georgia, even though I would have been on scholarship. But baseball took care of my school, they took care of my meals, they took care of my housing, my books. It was like I'm on scholarship, but I'm not on scholarship. So I had a lot more free range than
Yeah.
the scholarship players because I could have got my own apartment when I first got there, but I didn't want to do that. I wanted to experience the dorm life.
Good. That's
So me and my boy, we ended up, sharing a dorm room. But I had the brand new Honda Accord with the music, the rims, and all that shit.
Subs.
So yeah, the 112, the 110 in the back. You know what I'm saying?
Dude, one of my employees popped his trunk the other day. He's got a Crown Vic and there's two 12-inch subs in there. And I'm like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
He's like, yep,
So
I still
proud
got
of
them.
Yeah. I had those in my truck, and it was just
Yeah.
we always just compete with the music.
Yeah, for
at
sure,
that.
for
And
sure.
then, one day I woke up and I'm like, I'm sick of this shit.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, I think everybody was.
I ended up going to my boy's shop. I said, 'cause I had two 12s JBLs W6s with 2,000 watt amps in it with the plexiglass
Yeah, I remember all that shit.
35.
The MTXs.
Yeah.
I could hear him come off the highway
Oh my-
10 minutes away
And,
from my house.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was so, and we used to drive, and I cut the pipes off of it because it was loud as shit. I said, take this off. It was like a $20,000 system that I had in there. And I
Yeah.
sold it for like $800.
Yeah.
No, the value
I
went,
just-
when we all decided that we didn't want it anymore, the value just dropped. I remember I
Yeah.
couldn't even get rid of mine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just said I was so tired of the boom boom. It was like when I got out of the truck, my ears was hurting, my head. Well, like I just want a regular
A
radio.
regular car. Regular,
I want, like,
regular,
AM,
yeah, for
FM.
real.
AM,
That's it.
FM, and just
Yeah.
electrical windows, and that's
Yeah.
like,
Electric
it was,
windows.
Even with my cars now, I don't do nothing to them.
No,
I
me
buy
either.
them new, and they're stock.
Yeah.
I throw tint on it, and I'm done.
That's
Yeah,
it.
that's what
That's
you do.
all I do.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah,
And most of my cars, they got to be like either black or gray with black rims.
Yep.
And everything else is just factory radio.
Yep, exactly. That's what we do.
No, I don't buy no aftermarket rim. Like I don't
Yeah.
want that shit no more.
We just got an Escalade, and it's got aftermarket rims on it, and I hate it. And we're gonna get. I'm gonna buy the stock rims
Yeah.
because it's just. But
I'm just like I had that life. Like I did that, and it was just a hassle.
yeah.
Flat tires, and I'm nobody got 24-inch tires here. I got to
Yeah.
special order the tires, and they're taking weeks to come in.
Yeah.
I just I just ride factory. That's what I call it.
Yeah. So all right. So you were in Georgia. Did you play football in Georgia?
I did.
Okay. How was that? What was that experience like
Like
playing
University of
from
Georgia, or just like Georgia, the state.
the state?
Yeah, it was.
No, for the college.
Oh
for
yeah,
the team.
it was very it was competitive. It was different. Like I said, I could have went to Florida, I could have went to Tennessee, I could have went to South Carolina, I could have went to Alabama, Auburn, every SEC school I could have went to, Kentucky. Went to Georgia because a lot of my mom's side of the family grew up like 20 minutes from the school, so I'm very familiar with the area. It was easy for me to go there because I have family members there that I can leave school and go to their house and eat and whatever I want to do. You know what I'm saying? But it was tough.
Yeah.
It was tough for me because I would go and play baseball for the summer for 6 weeks. I'll go play baseball, get paid $50,000 for 6 weeks of work, and then go to school. So I didn't have a break. So I go from baseball to football.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Spring,
That's a lot.
fall, school, tests, all that. Then I would leave school one day after my last exam. So I'll have to call my employer and be like, hey, my exam is June 3rd. They were like, okay. And then I get an email, you got a flight June 4th.
It was probably beneficial though, because it kept you regimented.
I
It
know
kept you
it
out
was.
of trouble.
Just think about it. I was 18.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah,
lot.
that is
That's
a
a
So
lot.
Yeah.
I didn't, and coming from playing like 25 games in high school baseball, and now I'm playing 76 games in 79 days.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, 18 years old, and I'm doing this. It's just after going through a whole season of college football, exams, just everything.
lot.
I'm just like, it wore me out, and I was so tired. And I didn't get a chance. Like, I missed 4 years of spending time with my family.
Yeah.
Because my last exam, I was packing up my room, and I had to take my stuff to my mom's house to get ready to get on the flight the next day.
Yeah.
And then I'm gone the whole summer. Think about it, I'm going the whole summer while the rest of my boys are here at school, going to summer school, hanging out. Then I'm coming back, 2 days before football start.
Wow.
So I'm leaving a sport to come back to play another sport. So I'm in Florida in the heat and the sun. I'm running bases. I'm throwing balls, and I'm freaking tired. I'm playing all these games. I'm traveling on the bus, and then I leave that to go put on a helmet and pads in the sun again. Like, it really wore me. Like, my last year of baseball, I told the coach, I was like, listen, I said, I love you guys, but I don't want to pursue baseball.
This is
I told
not
him
my thing.
I'm like 20.
That's when you made the decision.
Yeah, I'm like 21 at the time. I made a big boy decision at this
Yeah,
time. Yeah,
for
I was like,
real.
and I can't even believe to this day that I went into the coach's office and said, listen, I want to leave.
Did you know that football was going to be your backup though? Like,
I knew.
Did you know you were going to pursue the NFL?
Yeah, I kind of knew. I used baseball to just keep me it was paying me, so it was like it was a no-brainer to not play baseball.
Yeah, it kind of is. It's
But
$200,000 a year.
no, it was 50,000.
50. So you made 200 overall.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's
Free
50,
school.
even 50,000 back then.
Yeah, it
And
was
what,
so- oh my
2000?
God,
18.
yeah.
Think about it. I was
And
18,
like
19.
2000 or
and it was
1990.
it was 90, 96.
Like
96.
96.
50
Things-
grand a
things
year.
were
You're
cheap.
chilling. You're
Yeah,
chilling.
things were cheap. I had a brand new
Yeah.
Honda Accord and
Yeah.
money left over, and boys coming to my house and I'm barbecuing, and
was still
one of my cousins
barbecuing.
that on my mom's side owned a liquor store, so I would go, give him tickets to the game, and he
Yeah.
would give me like 3 cases of Coronas.
Yeah. No, you actually played that smart though. That was
Yeah.
that 4 years. I mean, that's you made a good decision
It was-
by doing that.
Yeah.
And then so what made you actually make that decision and say I'm ready to pursue the NFL?
Well, you know what? Because it was like, I think the year before it kind of scared me because I got hurt. It was one of those games where it was raining. When you rain, your body get tight.
You
So
feel everything.
and I was up to bat, and rain came. It was like an hour and a half delay, and so we all go in and we come back out. So now I'm up to bat, so I'm like tight. I didn't warm up properly, so I hit the ball and I'm flying down the first base line. And I felt my quad just like boom, boom. Like I thought I tore my quad like off the bone, and it hurt so bad. And I missed 30 games because of that.
Wow.
No, and I was like, I'm sitting there thinking to myself, I can't go back to school with a torn quad.
Was that your first like big injury?
Yeah, yep. And it was like, and every day my the trainer would get down here and massage it, and he was like, man, he said, I don't know about this quad. He said, you have biggest knots in your quad. And I'm just like, well, you got to get me right because I got to go play football.
Yeah.
So it kind of scared me.
Not my problem.
Yeah.
Yours. Fix it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then my last year, I knew it was my last year, and I just went out. I was like, listen, I waited till I got my check, dog.
Of course.
I got my check. Well, so they gave me a check for like $40,000. Like, all right. And I was like, I waited like a week after that. I was like, you know what? I'm not playing. I'm just sitting here. I'm rotting on the bench. I'm not happy. I went in and I said, hey, listen. I said, you know what? I said, love you guys. I love baseball. I really appreciate you guys doing this for me. I said, but this is my last year at Georgia. I think I have a better chance of making it to the NFL than I do baseball. Because think about baseball, we had 3 single-A teams. Short season, mid-season, long season. Then we had AA, AAA. And then we had rookie ball. Then we had international. So we had so many teams.
Isn't it political too?
It's-
Baseball, isn't
it
it?
can be,
Isn't it
but you
kind of
think
like
about
who
it.
you know?
Think about it. You got major league guys that are playing baseball 10, 14 years. But you got guys in AAA that are waiting on those guys to retire. We had a guy that was in AAA for like 15 years at one time. I'm like, I
Yeah,
don't have 15 years to wait to see if I'm gonna make it to the major league. So I told him, I said, no, I want to be ready and fresh for my last year of football. He understood though. I gotta admit, Coach Joyce, I still remember his name, Coach Joyce. He understood. He was like, he said, you know what? He said, I understand. I really understand. He said, I'm gonna see if we can get you out of here in the next couple of days, and you can go back to school and have a good year. And yep, true enough, they called me to the office. They were like, you got your flight, you go back, hey, have a good season.
Oh, yeah.
Your last year. They wasn't salty at all. And I was really, happy. I went back and I had a productive year.
Yeah. So what was the draft process like? Like what did you expect and what ended up happening?
I was actually I was with my mom or my agent house, and we was watching the draft. I knew I wasn't gonna be like a day 1, day 2 guy. Back then, that's when they had the first, second, third round all in one day. It was like an 8-hour process.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there, and we watching the draft, and then the 6th round rolls around, and I get a call from Tony Dungy, and I'm with my mom, and he was like, "Hey, this is Coach Dungy from the Colts. We're gonna take you with this pick." It was like the 6th round pick or something. And I'm sitting there like, all right, Mom, I'm about to get picked. And they changed course. They ended up picking a linebacker. And I'm like, okay.
And did you find out from watching the draft?
Yeah, it was supposed to come across the stream.
Wow.
And so I was like, my agent was like, don't worry about it. There's another round coming up. If, you're going to go somewhere. We just don't know where. Even if you don't get drafted, you still sign a undrafted free agent. I was like, oh, whatever. Just give me a chance to play. I'll go prove myself, wherever. So 7th round comes around, and then Bill called. And hey, this is Bill Belichick, New England Patriots. We're going to draft you with this pick. I'm like, yeah, I said, I just heard that, the round before. I see it and I believe it. And then so I saw my name go across the screen, and Mom happy, what I'm saying? I'm like, wait a minute, what the fuck is New England? I have no idea. New England is like, no idea. But that's how that went. I was supposed to be a Colts, but ended up getting drafted by the.
Was there any discussion with Bill before he picked you? Like, did he call you?
Actually, you know what? Charlie Weiss came to my school and worked me out.
Yeah, he spent a lot of time around here.
He came to my school. He worked me out at Georgia, and believe it or not, it wasn't too much of running back drills that they had me do. I was doing more receiver stuff because that's in Georgia. You got to know how to catch. You got to know how to block. Of course, they know you can run. So I was doing a lot more catching the ball out of the backfield. And I think that's one of the reasons why they drafted me, because I was doing just little things, like catching the ball out of the backfield, running the receiver route.
That was their style.
And so, when I got to New England, they even moved me to wide receiver my rookie year. Yeah, I was a receiver.
What year were you drafted? 01?
That was 2000.
2000. Wow, so you got in right at the...
You got drafted with Tom Brady.
Yeah, Brady.
You were in Brady's class.
Yeah, me, Brady, Clem, Harris, Antoine Harris, J.R. Radman. Bill was our first pick, Belichick. If you want to say that, because they traded with the Jets.
Yep.
But Adrian Clem was our number 1 pick, but he was a 2nd round pick, because we traded that 1st round to the Jets to get Bill. Things could have went a little different if he was still with New York.
That's crazy, man.
Things like that, yeah.
So like back then, Belichick wasn't the Belichick he is now. So like, what did you expect going to the Patriots? And like,
no idea.
Because they weren't a good team whatsoever.
No,
it was just like.
But I used to watch them because I was a fan of players.
Yeah.
And I used to watch Bledsoe. I used to watch, Ty and Lawyer and McGinnis and Chris Slade and Chad Eaton and Bruce Armstrong, and then it was Curtis Martin. So I used to watch the Pats. Ben Coles. I used to watch them because I was a football fanatic. I used to watch them. And then my boy Robert Edwards got drafted from Georgia to New England, and I used to watch Terry Glenn and all those guys. And
Terry Glenn.
And then I was a big Kevin Falk guy.
Yep, so the best, man.
I used to watch.
Incredible to watch.
So back in the South, they used to have this show called Countdown to Signing Day, where this crew will follow high school seniors to see where they're going to sign their letter of intent to go play college. And I remember Kevin Falk was number 1 running back out of LSU. And I used to watch this kid. I used to wake up early Saturday just to see what he did the night before.
Yeah.
And I'm like, damn, that joke, he's so good.
He was the best out of the backfield.
Oh, my God. It was Kevin Falk and Brian Darden. I remember those 2 names. I'm like, I want to be like Kevin. And I said, yeah. And then I ended up playing against Kevin when he was at LSU and I was at Georgia. And
So now you're playing with Kevin.
No, I'm playing. I tell Kevin this story all the
That's
time.
crazy.
You know,
Right.
and now I'm like, and I was like, and he's in his locker right next to mine.
Yeah.
It's like Kevin, but it was like Kevin, Tabaki, and me, and then lawyer. I just tell Kevin all the time about this story. And I said, boy, I remember in high school, this camera crew used to follow you all around. I used to love watching highlights. I said, I remember when your wife at the time was having a baby in high school. He was like, boy, how you remember that? I said, because I was your biggest fan, bro.
That's
I was your
wild.
biggest fan. I said, nah. And I said, I always said to myself, I want to get a chance to play with Kevin because this dude he's so good. I want to get a chance. And then here I am right next to you.
All right, let's take a quick commercial break to bring you our sponsor, Burns Roofing. I've been personal friends with Eric for over 20 years. He's an incredible stand-up businessman. And if you ever need anything regarding roofing in Rhode Island and Massachusetts, give them a call. They do honest, hard work, and he is my go-to whenever I need anything in roofing needs. So you got a kid that comes straight from the ghetto, and now you're in Foxborough Stadium.
No idea what the hell Foxborough's at.
What was that feeling like? Like, what was that first time you stepped on the field and you were looking around and you were like, I'm an NFL player now?
It wasn't even that. It was just my first time. I was like, man, I'm in a fucking dump. This is a dump. I was like, because I'm coming from college. Where we had,
Foxborough was. It was.
Yeah,
no,
we had,
I think
you
about
know,
it.
we
It was
had-
an old stadium.
yeah, it
We
was.
had 98,000 people at our game in college, and the locker room was great. And I get to Gillette, and I'm like, I'm sharing a locker with a guy. Like
Yeah.
this nasty slob got shit everywhere.
Oh,
I'm
no.
sharing. I'm like, and the training room was like the size of this room. So it was like it was a dump. I'm like, man, this cannot be the NFL life, man. What the hell did I sign up for?
They lied.
So no one knew anybody. Like the coaches was new, so we didn't really have a history of Bill and Josh and actually Josh was he was like a grad assistant.
Was Josh drafted with
yeah,
you
he
guys too? He was part of the 2000
Josh
McDaniels?
Yeah, he was like he wasn't a coach, he was like an assistant.
Oh, okay.
So Charlie was the offensive coordinator.
That's right.
Ivan, my running back coach, was a receiver coach. Brian Dable was just like a freaking assistant. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It was just like all these guys was assistant. So no one knew what Bill brought to the table.
Yeah.
But we knew that he commanded respect his first day. You know what I'm saying? So that first year we was 5-11. And then it was like, oh shit, here we go again.
So that was 2000. So that was when Bledsoe was playing.
Yep.
So you roll into 2001.
2001.
He gets
and
hurt.
It was more Bill showing us clips from 2000. Right? It was like 5 or 6 games he showed us. It was like a lot of games that we lost by like 7 or less points. And he was showing us, like, we lost this game by 7. If we did this and this and this, we could have won the game. Right? We lost this game by 3. We did this. It was like 7 games he showed us. And we're like, damn, we was 5-11. If we just did this, we could have won 6 games. It would have went 11-5.
Yeah, it would have been a lot different.
So he showed us that stuff, and we went into that season thinking about the stuff that he showed us and not to make those same mistakes. And we ended up finishing 11-5. But the whole 9/11 thing was going on, and it was a weird season because of that. But we ended up correcting those mistakes that he showed us, and we finished 11-5. So we went from worst to first, and then it was like our confidence was just brewing. It was just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And then we ended up playing the Raiders in the first round.
The snow game.
The snow game.
I was there. Took
got
us
her
3
ticket.
hours to go
Yeah.
out.
What?
I got her and her friends tickets to that game, and went up winning that game. All I knew, we wasn't ready to go home when Brady got hit and dropped the ball, and then we ended up going to Pittsburgh. So we pull up in Pittsburgh, and we walk in, and we see a line of suitcases at Pittsburgh locker. We was like, damn, what? Somebody moving? We didn't know what was going on. Bill comes in, he's like, yeah, fellas, you see the suitcases, Pittsburgh ready to go to New Orleans. They think the game is won.
Wow.
Yeah, so they're ready. They already got this shit planned. They're on their way to New Orleans. But we haven't even kicked off yet.
Wow.
So that lit a fire under you guys, huh?
Yeah. So we went up, beating them, and we was like, shit. So now we got to go back and get ready.
Wait, were those real suitcases, or he was
No,
just doing
they
that
was
to like
no.
get
We
under
saw
your
'em.
skin?
We
Oh,
saw 'em.
okay.
They was
No,
lined
they
up.
probably
They
planned
were-
that too to try to get under their skin, and it
right.
backfired.
Because what
Yeah.
was going to happen was they was going to. I think they was leaving right after the game to go to New Orleans. Pittsburgh was. They was going to leave right after the game, go to New Orleans, and
which was where the Super Bowl was that year, right?
Yeah, it was in New Orleans.
Yeah.
But yeah, we as we walk into the locker room, we see that. And me as a kid, I'm still like 21, 22, trying to process this shit. Like, why they got suitcases? And then Bill comes in and say, yeah, they are prepared to go to New Orleans. We're like, oh, we haven't even played yet. Like, what's going on? So we ended up winning the game, and we sent them home, and we had to fly back to.
And they still needed their suitcases.
Right, they still needed their suitcases.
Yeah,
they were leaving early, correct?
So it was weird because we flew back to Boston, and all the players went out. At the time, Skyline was called something else.
Skyline View.
It was whatever it was.
That place though, yeah.
Yeah. So
Skyline.
We got off the plane. We all went to the old Skyline View, whatever it was, and we were just partying all night. And we're looking at the clock. We're like, oh, it's 5:30 in the morning. Oh. We got a meeting at 7. So everybody goes to the stadium in the suit that we just got off the plane with. And we had to go home and pack because we was leaving the next day. So we go home, we pack. We at the stadium with the shit we just came from Pittsburgh in. And then we go to New Orleans. And it still haven't hit me yet that I'm about to play in my first Super Bowl.
Yeah, I mean, but not even your first Super Bowl. Your second year in the league.
Second year in the league.
You know what I mean? That must have been crazy. Who was the most influential part of that season? Like who really? I know it was Brady. I know Belichick, but
actually, you know what? It was coming from the defensive side. So you had your Brewskis, you had your McGinnis, you had your
the vets.
The vets. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Your Ted Johnsons and. Those guys really, really made shit happen. Roman Pfeiffer. You had the thing about Roman Pfeiffer, Ted Johnson, Teddy Bruschi,
yeah. I mean,
Mike Vrabel, Roosevelt Colvin, and then on the other side, we had all young folks like me, Brady, J.R. Redmond, Clem. We was first, second year players. On the offensive side, but then you had the occasion you had your Troy Brown, who was an older cat, and David Patton,
Kevin Falk.
Kevin was a third-year player. We were still relatively young on that side.
Yeah.
But on the other side, you had guys that been playing for 5-6 years.
The defense really did come up strong.
Yes.
And those, I mean, in the first.
Tabucky Jones, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And you had your Ty Laws and, Lloyd Malloy. And
crazy.
Otis Smith on that side. And it was just and you look at it now, you're like, oh, that's how Bill built his team. You get the older vets on defense that can play, but then you get the younger folks on offense that can play as well, but that are good.
But on defense, it's more of leading. It's you get the vets that can lead, and you get the offense that lights the fire and that kind of that can play.
Because he knew that at some point, because we were so young, that we were prone to make mistakes. But you had a vet defense to make up for that.
Yeah.
So by doing that, it just made it much easier for the offensive guys to just go out and play ball without even thinking about making mistakes. If it happened, we got these guys that make up for us. So we just went out there and just fucking played ball. We didn't care who it was. We just went out there. If we did make a mistake, we're like, all right, we got Brewski, we got McGinnis. They'll make up for it. You know what I'm saying? Even though we made the mistake, we was just we got... Those guys make up for it. We got Otis, we got Ty, we got Lloyd. They'll make up for it. But yeah, it was one of those things where we was a 3-touchdown underdog, and we sit in the locker room, and the NFL have their way of doing shit. You know what I'm saying? They want you to play and do everything by the books. So they was like, all right, St. Louis, they're gonna get their offense. We're gonna call their offense out. They're gonna run out. Boom, boom.
This is the NFL making those.
Yeah,
calls?
they.
So it's almost like a scripted kind of
until we kick
in
off.
Between the plays. Yeah.
Until we kick off, because it's money. It's a money thing for them.
Sure.
So they get to us, and they were like, all right, your defense is gonna be called. And I think it was a Brewski that was like, we're going out as a team.
Oh, that was the first time that was ever done. That's right.
First time ever. We're going out as a team. There's no individuals on the team. We got here together.
Brewski made that call?
I think it was because I think Bill came in and said, all right, defense, you're going to be called. I think he stood up and said, we're going out as a team.
Wow.
We're going to do it as a team. We got here.
First time in history that's ever been done.
And so you hear it. The New England Patriots has elected to come out as a team. You see us in the tunnel going crazy.
Man,
you know
I feel like that decision right there really did a lot.
No, we was all about mind fucking people. You know what I'm saying? So you see us come out as a team, not individuals. What are these guys?
For the first time ever.
For the first time
that was
ever
huge.
It
in
comes
history
up a
of
lot
football.
on the
Huge.
internet,
That was huge.
And then we went out there and we put a fucking slapping
Yeah.
on St. Louis, and they was never the same after that. Never the same. We beat them so bad, we felt bad
Yeah.
for them. You know what I'm saying? Because here's the thing: Torrey Holt had an ESPN interview, and they had just won the Super Bowl 2 years ago. They beat Tennessee Titans, and he was talking, and he was like, "Yeah," he said, and I think the reporter asked him, about the Super Bowl ring. He said, "Yeah," he said, "I'm just thinking about which finger I'm going to put this next ring on." Before the game even played.
Yeah.
Guess who showed us a clip? Bill.
I was gonna say Bill. Yeah.
Yeah,
of
Showed us
course.
a clip.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
fellas. Torrey Holt already thinking about which finger he's gonna put the ring on.
Yeah.
What you gonna do?
Yeah.
Same thing he did with Philadelphia.
I was gonna say he's done that a lot.
He showed
Yeah,
us.
yeah,
He's done that a lot.
He showed us the fucking parade route that Philadelphia's gonna take. He said, "Fellas, this is the route Philly's gonna take when they get back to Philly for the Super Bowl. Show us the route, everything." Yeah, he put the trophy on the table. He said, "This is what they want. This is the route they're taking. It's up to you."
What was it like playing with Rodney Harrison? That's one of my favorite players of all time.
He's you know what? If there's any guy you want on your team, that's Rodney.
Yeah.
It was one of those things where we didn't know what player we was gonna get when he came in.
That was 03?
03, 04.
Yeah.
Both of those
Yeah.
years.
Yeah.
But we knew what we was getting on game days. Very first practice, he almost got into a fight with Troy.
Just lights guys. I mean,
he didn't.
The most ruthless aggression.
He didn't give a
Really?
shit. Yeah, he didn't.
He was
did
a
not.
monster.
We was in helmets. Troy goes across the middle, and he damn near clothesline Troy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And Kevin, they throwing the ball back and forth to each other. He did something to Kevin, and I'm just back there like, damn. I'm looking at this and they ask him, they're like, how you feel? Like you getting your teammates upset. He was like, listen, I'm here to make a team, not friends.
Yeah.
From that day forward, he got a lot of respect. But Rodney was a cool dude though. He was awesome to have in the locker room. His locker room presence was just it was top notch. It was the same thing with Corey Dillon.
Oh, that's right.
Corey Dillon
too.
came in. He was one of those, viewed as a knucklehead type of dude. But the day that he came in, I saw him in his locker. I walked up to him. I introduced myself. I like Corey. My name Patrick. I'm probably gonna be blocking for you this year. I said we got you here for a reason. I said Bill got you. I said he believe in you. I said you come in, you do what you have to do. You'll probably win a rushing title, but more importantly, you're gonna win the Super Bowl. He like, that's all I want, boss. And Corey was cool as hell. He was no problem. No problem. He came in, he did his work.
And he was supposed to be like a problem, right?
Yes.
Like, wasn't he left Cincinnati because they had issues with him.
He just wanted to win.
Yeah.
He was letting the organization know, we need to get A, B, and C if we want to win. They would not listen to what he was trying to say.
Yeah.
He came here, he had to do that because we already had the pieces in place. All he had to do is show up and just do his work. And so he came in.
He did.
And I told him, I said,
man.
bro, I'm probably gonna be blocking for you. I said, there's something really wrong with this picture though. If you really look at it, you're like, what you mean? I said, bro, you 240, I'm 217. You should be blocking for me.
Yeah.
I said, it was just a joke, but we started laughing. I said, but I'm gonna give you the best version of me. All right, I'm gonna whatever you need. You holler at Kevin, you holler at me. We'll get this shit going. We'll have fun. But I mean, he came in. He did what he.
You made a lot of huge blocks, man.
Yeah, he was
a lot of huge blocks.
And I said at the end of the day, he always was like thank me for the shit that I would do for him because I would do all the dirty work for him.
Yeah,
like blocking and just get him out of the way. And he knew that I wasn't the prototypical fullback.
No,
I was
you had a very
217
aggressive
pounds.
style.
Yeah,
playing,
but he knew I wasn't
was,
scared.
Yeah, exactly.
He knew I wasn't scared. I would tell him straight up, like if it was some dude that was talking shit on the field, I'd tell Corey because I should tell him which way I'm going to cut a linebacker. I'll tell him, I'm going to cut his outside leg so you stay to my right, or I'm going to cut his inside leg, you stay to my left. But there have been a few plays where I say, Corey, I don't know how I'm going to block this dude. I know he's talking shit. I'm just going to hit him straight up. You just read me. And there's a few times I was just like, boom, just smashing these linebackers that was like 240. And he always called him P. He was like, P, what's wrong with you, dude? I said, dude was talking shit, man. He like, all right. He said, I respect that. But at the end of the season, he would like give me like little gifts and shit. But he was a cool dude, man. Nice to have on the field.
Did you ever get to know Ray Lewis at all?
Nah. No.
Did you ever play with?
I played.
Well, you played against him a bunch, right?
Yeah.
You must have had some type of trauma to your brain and everything from all that impact.
Yeah, because he was a monster block. Like
I
blocker.
get tons of. I don't know if it. I'm sure it has a lot to do with blocking, but I get headaches. I get headaches a lot. Headaches like I have one now. That's why. Lights give me headaches.
Mm-hmm.
He's had episodes where he had to get rushed to the hospital.
Really? Yeah, because it's a big. I mean, it's taken a long time, but the science is out now.
I know. It's almost like he's drunk.
Oh,
and it's like, are you having a stroke? Like it's like he can't function, and then like he'll just like pass out and.
I feel like the worst case of vertigo ever.
Really, that's an interesting way to put it too.
And because he's such a big guy, like when the ambulance came, there's two of them, and they're standing there, they're looking at him on the ground, they're like, we need to call backup.
Yeah, they couldn't carry
They
me
had to call the
downstairs.
fire department to come and help. I'm like, this is so embarrassing.
I mean, that's actually scary.
It's very scary, yeah. And they had like strap him in a chair and like bring him down the stairs. Oh, yeah, we've been through this a few times already.
Wow, that's crazy.
It's like people love the NFL, but you really don't know the NFL.
The behind the scenes.
And life after the NFL is
Yeah.
brutal.
Yeah, it's just weird.
The NFL
Is there any support for that? Is there any?
That was my question. Definitely.
It's a lot better now.
Yeah.
But do they offer it to previous players?
Yeah, it's a lot.
They won't tell you about it. You have to go looking for it.
Yeah, it's one of those things where you really have to go digging.
And it's the wives that do the digging.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
like the military.
They know we're not gonna do it.
The husbands aren't going to do
They know
anything.
we're not going to do it, but it's a lot better now. I think back when I was playing and retired, the communication with that was null and void. It was like no communication about, outside help. And you really have to hear something from one of your friends about, hey, there's this program out there that helps you if you have surgery, or hey, there's this program. So I'm just like, damn, we got a lot of programs out there. So as I started to figure out like which program I need to get into, I kind of like understand why.
Yeah.
It was
And
happening.
then, like, I have the group chat with a lot of NFL wives from, like, different states or whatever, and a lot of them, they're just like, do you know about this? You know about that? I'm like, oh, my God. I'm like, Pat, did you know about this? You know what I mean? So it's like we help each other.
Well, you probably see it more than he notices it.
Of course.
There's been a lot.
Is
yeah.
that-
I mean,
Yeah.
for him.
I try to stay away from it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Why is that?
It's just like with the podcast. I just like to be under the radar.
Yeah.
But
But when it
Mama
comes to
Bear
your health,
here,
though,
yeah,
that's-
Mama Bear,
Yeah,
she's
like,
when it comes
he's
to
like,
me,
"Y'all
it's like,
crazy.
yeah,
You're going to fight with the NFL? They're like the mob. I'm like,
Yeah, it's worth
do you
it.
think that word really scares me?
Yeah. Right.
Hello?
I just
No, it
you know
does
what?
not. I will fight them and rip their faces off.
And with me, it's
With
just
help.
like
Yeah.
I just like to stay like neutral.
So now, when you're coaching your players now, and life after football, and is that something that you're aware of? Is there safety?
Yeah, I mean, they wear those helmets
fo-
now. They look like little Martians.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, there's really only so much you can do. It's
Yeah,
football.
I
It's
know.
it's
Impact.
Well, the age group I have that I'm I volunteer with it's really not too much big hitting in that age group. It's a lot of arm tackling, and those kids don't want to hit.
yeah.
That's why I say football is different
Yeah,
now.
he comes home like he's like they're just not.
Even the older.
they don't want to
Yeah,
play.
they don't want to
Wow.
hit.
Yeah,
So,
like they don't want to play like how he did when he was young.
yeah.
No, it's
It's
totally different. I
It's
know.
different.
It's
It's
different.
We know
all
the
time.
NFL is coming out with a flag league, like an actual legitimate
What?
NFL flag league. Yeah, and it's going to be probably marketed just like how they're marketing the NFL now, but it's going to be a whole different league, and it's just flag football.
That's interesting.
Just like we just
But
started
it's
the girls' league.
but flag's getting big.
It's
Yeah,
getting
It's
huge.
getting
is.
big,
That's
and
why we just started a girls flag football team in Rhode Island. So
yeah, you were telling me about that. Is that the girl that
What's
is
the name of it?
it's Rhode Island Lady Lynx.
Yep.
Maddie. She's a part of that.
One of our best players. I've been good friends with her mom for like 30 years. So we made her president of, we trust her. We made her president of the team, and her daughter, like, unbelievable player, part of the team, so excited for this year, and just was in pain, got sent to got rushed to the hospital, and come to find out she just got diagnosed with stage 4B cancer in her liver, her spleen, her throat.
Nasal passages.
Her nasal passages and her bones. But she just started treatment. They're like going head on with it,
But we know she's going to make it through.
I really do. Like,
14 years old.
She's
a
pray
tough
for her,
cookie.
yeah.
feeling like I have the goosebumps right now. Like,
I know. I feel like
I
crying
don't have.
again.
I don't have a bad feeling. I think she's gonna be fine.
Yeah, we're gonna pray for her.
Is there a GoFundMe or anything that they have set up for her?
No, I know they just started. Was it Fight for Maddie on Facebook?
Yeah. It was so weird how it happened, because it was legit. Like the day before we started doing off-season training for the girls, and my mom was texting us. Even she came to the practice, she left the hospital and came to she didn't participate, but she just wanted to be there with her friend. But she was so excited about starting the new league, and 14 years old, because I was telling the girls, like, listen, in 2028 they're gonna have this in the Olympics.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. That's another thing I heard.
This is gonna be perfect for your age.
Yeah.
And she was they was so excited about doing it. Then come to find out that she's not going to even be able to play this year, because this is going to be like a 6-month process that she's going through.
This is going to be a lot on her body.
I really do think that she's going to come out of this stronger than ever. I really do. She's so young. Like, I look at Pat, I'm like, I can't picture, like, our 14. You know what I mean? Like, it just doesn't make any sense to me. Like, how?
I know. That's what I think every time I hear something like that at that age. It's like, how? What happened? Like,
so healthy, so athletic.
Yeah.
Like,
And then out of
out of
the blue.
nowhere.
Out of the blue,
It's just so crazy. That's how life can be, man. It's just like it's like Cam or Mikey coming home and being like, I got cancer. Like, what?
Yeah, that
You know what I mean? And you can't really fathom that. It's just something that is, that unfortunately all we can do is pray and hope for the best.
Talk about the hardship on a parent, because you really can't do anything. Like, you're so used to being able to protect your child, and then at that circumstance, there's nothing you can do at that point. You're relying on medical and history and this and that to fix your child. That's got to be the worst
lots and lots of
position
prayers.
ever.
If you're one of those spiritual animals, my family growing up, they spiritual as hell. Kept me in church, you know what I'm saying? So if you're one of those spiritual animals, like you say, the doctors, the medicine, the spiritual, the praying hands, and the family and friend support. But she's getting all of that. But as a parent, it's like...
Yeah.
Jen's very strong, though.
Yeah, you're leaving
this.
this...
make her stronger,
Maddie's, she's in good hands.
Yeah.
What was life like after football and business wise? Like, what was your plan after football?
I was ready to jump off a cliff.
Yeah.
Really?
You didn't know what to do. You didn't know what to do.
No, I was going through
Depression?
some depressed, dark times, divorce, everything. Like, I was ready
I had
to
beg him to shower, brush his teeth.
Wow.
I was ready to
I've been there, man. Yeah.
I was ready to.
Scared
I
me.
was over
He definitely
life.
scared me.
I was just done with life.
Well, now, what do you think now, looking back at it, was the main contributor of that? Like, was it because you were missing something in your life now?
It wasn't. It had nothing to do with football. It was my divorce.
Yeah.
At the time, it was a whole bunch of shit that was taken away from me. I was.
Because you didn't fight for it. Because you didn't want to deal with it.
I didn't care. Like,
he didn't care. Just whatever.
Yeah.
Like, he didn't want to be bothered.
I had the most evil thought process that was going through my brains on a daily basis during that time, and I really didn't care who would get hurt or how the outcome would be. And I was just like, but I snapped out of it. I was like, oh, Pat, that's not you. Get your ass up. Because I was in Georgia. I was at home. I wasn't doing shit. And I was just like, I looked at myself. I'm like, bro, you're able. You're breathing this free air. You know what I'm saying? Get your ass outside and walk, run, do something. You know, you can sit up here and sulk and feel sorry for yourself all you want, but you're able. All the shit that you're missing is materialistic shit. You can get that shit back. So I started walking, running. I was like, oh man, there's endorphins started just like going crazy. I was like, oh, I feel like a brand new man. And then, you know, I was like, hey, I need to come back up there and see what I can do. You know what I'm saying? And so we ended up coming back up here. But then I tried to go back another year.
So did you move back to Georgia after you retired?
I went back to Georgia for a little bit.
Gotcha.
Then came back.
He had to come back because I would call him and all he would be doing is sleeping or sleeping with his gun. Like, I'm like, Pat, I gotta I tried to talk him off a ledge on the phone. I hang out with him. I don't know if that was the last phone call.
Right.
It was rough.
It was bad.
But then I was like, you know what? I'm healthy. I can walk. There's a lot of my friends that I'm going to their gravesite. You know what I'm saying? I'm not there yet.
But it's also the regimen too. Like when you played, it's like you go there every morning. It's the same routine. Like you're being told what to do. You gotta do this, that every day, and then boom, nothing.
Yeah.
So, that was tough. That was tough when I had to officially retire.
Yeah.
Like when I officially retired, I was like, damn, there's no more meetings and stuff like that because my body was just like.
And you've been used to that since you were freaking 12 years old.
Yeah. Right.
You know what I mean? That's a huge change.
That was a big change.
And then just not knowing, because you know, it's not like you're like confident enough to be like, oh, I'll go start a roofing company.
Yeah.
Because you didn't know roofing. You've been playing football for.
Yeah, that's all he knew.
You know,
that's
so that there's that aspect of it too. It's like, what do I do from here?
What do I do now?
What I do, yeah. And I had no clue what I wanted to do, and then I just started like.
I feel like the alumni saved you.
Yeah, it did. Yeah.
What happened with that?
To be a part of the Patriots, be a part like the alumni.
Yeah, they have the alumni class.
The vice president.
The vice president
of the alumni. So he was always doing events and always working with the Patriots, and you know what I mean. So like he was still there. He was still being.
I still
needed.
kind of felt important.
Yeah.
I think what I was missing is that I felt like I didn't feel important because I wasn't wearing that Patriots helmet at the time. Like, it wasn't my name on the back of my jersey that people were cheering for. So I felt like I was being left out when I left the game. But then when I joined the alumni, it was like I'm meeting people who knew me. And it was like, oh, my God, this is Patrick Bass. I remember, you know, so they started bringing up story. I'm like, oh, shit. Okay, I can get used to this again. They're feeding my ego now.
Right.
And then so I just started doing more stuff. And then we started doing football camps and clinics. And then I was getting autograph sessions. I was like, okay, now this is what I'm used to. I'm used to, like, I'm doing stuff that, you know, makes me realize that no one has forgot about me.
And that you are someone of importance in New England.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And everywhere, in Georgia and New England.
Yeah.
It's funny, like, when I went through the Depression as well, it's like, there was nothing that could have helped me. Nobody could have said anything to me that would have made it different.
Right.
It really came down to, like, me. And there was one day where I just was like, I'm wasting my fucking time. I'm wasting my life doing this. I got to do something different. And then I did the same thing. I started going to the gym, and I'm like, okay, now I'm starting to feel a little bit better about myself. Your self-confidence goes higher, and then you start getting involved in things you like doing. For me, it's business. I love business. So I injected myself into every single aspect of business I could find. And then I'm like, okay, now I'm waking up and I have things to do.
Yeah,
and people are calling me now, and now I need to do this, and now I need to make decisions. And then you start getting on that thing.
You don't have
like,
time to be depressed.
Now you don't have time. That's what it is.
I can't afford it.
You're like, I'll just take I would take 5 minutes of depression.
idle hands on the devil's playground, and that's how my life is.
Yeah.
If I have too much downtime, ask her. I am very self-destructive.
He's either all or nothing.
Yeah, me too. 100%.
Yeah.
I can't sit still most of the time. It's, you know, I'm up at 4:20 in the morning. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. I'm home, and you know, I'm just constantly moving. You know what I'm saying? The moment I sit, it's just like that's when I'm like, damn, I need to be doing something. You know what I'm saying?
He's the
Oh, that's
same
when I started
way.
thinking about Like, it was really, really bad in the beginning. Even though I was still doing stuff for the alumni, we're doing camps, we're doing clinics, I'm doing speaking engagements, I'm doing autograph signing. That 2 hours I have at home, I sit there and I think about the game we played against Buffalo, the game we played against the Jets,
Really?
and this play. And I'm just like, damn. And it brings back those memories. But then I'm have to come to the realization that, shit, I'm retired. I can't do what I used to do back, when I was young or younger, or when I was healthy. And so that would bring me, it would drop me down a little bit because I was like, that was it. Like, I was forced to retire early because of injury. Like, we always, like me and Kevin used to always talk about getting 10 years in before we retire. He got 13, I got 7.
Right?
7.
7, yeah.
And, but it was, I left the game not on my terms. It's what really screwed me. But then I was like, you know what? I was in 3 Super Bowls out of 7 years. That's one every other year.
Seriously.
I'll take that.
Right, you're like,
You know,
you're
I
good.
would take that.
I mean,
Seven's good.
you did it at the highest level that has been ever done.
Well, I'm good. Like, I'm good.
But that's where the depression can come in, though. It's like, where do you go from there?
Right.
It's like you got to the top of that mountain, to the highest of any mountain, and it's like, all right, now what?
But then I started thinking, like, what would make me happy? What would make me, satisfied after football? And then I started thinking about how my coach used to be with me.
Yeah.
Taking me places, coaching me, teaching me how to shake hands. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I do with these kids now. Like, I think I feel that void because of how my Trey, I call him my stepdad, how he did me.
Yeah.
So, yeah, she could understand. I took, like, half the team to freaking Dave & Buster's. She was like, well, why you at Dave & Buster's? I'm like, I got the kids with me.
On a date.
You know what I'm saying? But
Still waiting for the redo from Valentine's.
yeah, so that's another story. Yeah, but just to sit there and see these kids, like, running around Dave & Buster's, challenging me in basketball, or just eating the massive amount of food we have on the table, and just taking pictures and selfies and shit like that, I was just like, this is what life is about.
Yeah, man.
It's not about me no more. It's about these kids.
It's so funny because he's like a big kid, and he'll call me from there. I'm like, you're having fun? What?
I got 15
Like,
kids
I would
with me
die
at
if
Dave
I
&
was
Buster's.
with 15 kids right now.
And we're having
That's a
fun.
lot.
I think it's because you just understand how important it was to you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And now you're able to do it at that level, and it's just like, and you have the ability to do it because financially you can do it. You can do it because of what you've accomplished.
Yeah.
There's so many factors that even make you a better mentor than probably your mentors.
Exactly. And I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, like, I wonder if they're feeling the same thing that I felt at their age when my coach was taking me
For the first
places.
this.
Yes, because after games, my coach used to take us to Pizza Hut, and the pizzas are different now.
Yeah.
Pizza Hut back in the day was really, really good.
It
Now
was
it's
delicious.
Pizza Hut was fire.
Yeah, it was.
So, he used to take us to Pizza Hut after the game. I'm like, man, Coach, you taking us to Pizza Hut after the game? Like, yep. And we would be so happy to go eat pizza. And now I look at the kids like, do they have the same feeling that I had when I used to go to Pizza Hut after the game? But I'm there at Dave & Buster's. And I just look at them like, we didn't have cell phones back then, but I'm looking at these kids taking selfies. They're laughing. They're having a good time. And I'm just sitting there like, you know what? If nothing else, this is going to be a memory for them. Hanging out at Dave & Buster's with Coach, you know what I'm saying? Someone who's played
Definitely
in the National Football
Definitely.
League, got 3 rings, you know what I'm saying? They're hanging out with Coach Paz with, food and everything is good.
Yeah, man.
And I look at that like, this is winning. This is what life is about. It's
Yeah.
not about me. It's about raising the next generation of kids to be young men.
Ultimately, that's what your legend will be too.
Yeah.
I have a friend that I was talking to last night on the phone. He's a business partner, and he's very well off. He's worth, a lot of money. And he said something that resonated with me, where he was like, I don't care about the money anymore. I just want my time back. He was like, there's nothing that I don't care about the materialistic things. I don't care about this. I got all the cars, the houses, the this, that. I don't care about any of that. He goes, what makes me happy is just having my time back with my family.
Yeah, with
So if you can, figure out a hack of where you can do what you love to do and have your time, then that's really the point of life, and being happy doing it.
Definitely.
You know what I mean?
Like-
And it's listen, it's not as easy as I just said. You know, it's,
No,
Right.
there's
makes sense
challenges.
because it's. I mean, time is so precious,
Yeah,
and I roll through that same concept with my oldest daughter, and you know, we had her when I was in college. She's 26 now,
Love her.
and you know, I still, you know, every now and then she get in her little feelings, not little feelings, but because I wasn't there
oh yeah,
as much. Because you know, I understand I was playing baseball when she was born,
Mm-hmm.
and then when I did that, I ended up getting drafted. So I've been here most of her life and adulthood, and you know, and she still, you know, in the beginning it was kind of hard because she would see me do stuff with Bella on Facebook, and she couldn't understand, you know, why I wasn't doing that with her.
Right.
But I was here, and I got a whole new life in Georgia and Rhode Island, so I'm here. But it made me realize that I'm losing time.
yeah,
You know, when she was in gymnastics, I went to a few of her gymnastics meets, but it wasn't enough. You know what I'm saying? And then she ended up graduating high school, missed that because
I
she
went
was having a
into
baby.
labor.
Oh
It was
wow.
So I
same
missed
day.
that.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? But I did make the college graduation. You know, it just we haven't spent a lot of time together in her 26 years, and that's something I'll never be able to get back. And I think that's one of the main reasons why I'm so tough with Bella,
yeah,
because I don't want to miss. That's probably Bella right there. Oh, that's Scott. It's probably one of the reasons why I do the things I do with my girls. No, and she asks me all the time what I want to do for my birthday, which is New Year's Eve.
Nothing.
Oh, wow.
I tell her
Hell yeah.
I really spend time with my family.
Yeah.
You know,
Absolutely.
I can care less
Definitely.
about going out, and
yep.
we don't even go out no more because my thing is
I
better at
still want to
home.
go out.
I can't trust someone else in my life if they decide to drink and drive,
Yeah, true.
because I want to be able to be there with my girls, raise my girl, because I would probably hunt her like crazy if I wasn't there and she decided to get married. You know what I'm saying? Like I would be in her room as a spirit because I don't trust nobody with my girls. So I tell her I'll stay home.
Yeah.
I rather spend it with my family, my girls. I can, you know, they be draped all over me. You know, this is something that I'll never be able to get back if I'm not here.
Yeah,
So I think that's why I'm home a lot. I'm with them. I'm spending time. I take them to the mall, to the movies. Like when she want to go to the mall with her friends, I drive because I don't trust the other parents taking my kids to the mall and dropping them off and come. No, I don't do that. I'm gonna be right there. I might be 3 stores down, but I'm gonna be at the mall with your girls. But I see that with my older daughter, like, and she see the stuff I do with Bella, and I know that it kind of like it affects her a little bit. But we try to, you know, make amends and talk about it and get her up here and hang out and stuff like that. But
yeah. Kids are tough, man. I have a daughter that I don't see. I had a daughter. I actually never have even said this publicly at all. It's but I had a daughter in 2015, and we split 3 months later, or maybe 6 months later. I was going through an addiction problem. I went through a lot with that shit, but she kept I wasn't able to see the kid. And to this day, it's been a battle nonstop. Just
We've been there.
yeah, and it's something that I'll never get back. You know what I mean? And I'm hoping that one day she is going to want to know who her father is. But
She will.
It's tough,
She
man.
will.
It's something I think about every single day of my life.
Yeah.
I never don't think about her. There's not a day that goes by, but you know, if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. And I know I did my part to try to reach out to her to try
Right.
to have that relationship, but it wasn't allowed. It was very
And that's all you can do.
Which
And
is-
he would give up at times. I'm like, Pat, you
just can't give up.
can't.
Yeah.
You gotta let her know that you never stopped trying.
yeah.
Right.
I went through that with my two
It's
boys.
it's so crazy to me that a woman would want to even keep the father though.
Makes
like
no
it just
sense.
it just doesn't make sense to me.
Especially when girls are involved.
And I understand, like, I was going through my shit, right? But, like, I have a son that, you know, I have a very close relationship with, and that's with me all the time, that we didn't go through that because the mother understood when I was going through my stuff, when there was times I should not be around that weekend or whatever, there was like things that we did to accommodate, you know what I mean, what I was going through. But he was never kept from me. We kept a strong relationship, and we still have a very strong one today. But there was just like when I was going through that shit, and like there was nothing I could do. I felt like hopeless, and I was like, "There's, you know, it's a tough. I don't know, it's tough. I never talked about it, so it's just weird. I don't even know what to say.
Yeah, I know. I mean, we went through it with the boys.
Yeah,
that we couldn't see them for years, and it broke us.
Yeah,
at the end of the day, it breaks the children.
They're
the ones that
they're the ones that suffer.
Yeah, they're the ones that are suffering the most. Like withholding, using them as pawns.
I think that's
is
gross.
Not, yeah, it is.
Yeah, weaponizing them. That's what I call it. It's just like
I'm like, why not do this together?
Yeah, exactly.
Like we got more than one adult. You know what I mean? We got like more mommies, more daddies. Yeah, like we can all make decisions together.
Yeah,
make
you have a village.
Yeah, like what is the problem? Like I just I don't know.
It was a guilt trip with them, making them feel guilty about wanting to come up and spend time. It was like my household was never an option for them to come, and you know, it even got to a point where my ex wanted to give my son away to a friend. Like, what the hell? Damn. When you got a whole daddy up in Rhode Island, you know what I'm saying? You want to?
Yeah, that's crazy.
It was.
They're always
weird.
allowed.
But,
I mean, even to this day, like.
Yeah.
They're
grown
live with
now.
Us, you know what I mean?
They're 22 and 20 and 22. So,
but we would still always take
them. I would tell them all the time. You're always welcome to come here. Our door and house was always open for you boys and girls if you wanted to come here. You know, it was never closed.
Yeah.
Speaking of house,
I
saw online.
I was just gonna bring that up.
I knew it.
I was just gonna bring it up.
We saw on Instagram Rhode Island housewives. What is it?
Is it a rumor or is it real?
That page is fake.
Is it fake?
Yeah,
that's the second time we've heard it.
Okay, so it's fake.
But even so, you made it on there.
You know what? She's a lovable chick. Everybody loves her.
Would you guys do it if you were asked?
Oh God. Maybe.
You know what? I'm a behind the curtains type of guy. I don't like to broadcast.
Now you
sounds like you wouldn't, and you definitely would.
Yeah, she would.
I would.
Yeah, why not?
You know, with me, I'm just like, I just like, you know, I like to fart too much.
Oh my God.
So does she.
They don't need to know that. You know what I'm saying? Like those people, you know, I like to do like I'm very, very like I'm a different breed when I'm with my kids. Like I'm the most like I think I'm funny. You know what I'm saying? Like I do shit with them that they don't even think that I do. Like I get up and I dance. We're dance competitions. You know, I rap or whatever. And my kid, they look at me like, Dad, who are you? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I love doing that. And I just think, and I'm very, very, like, strict when it comes to my girls. And
so it doesn't sound like it would be a good mix. So for those who
I'm not saying that.
How funny though, like they put up these pictures and I'm looking, I'm like, when was this picture taken?
Yeah, so for those who
like, in
are listening,
2010.
And they chose, out of all of your pictures, they went for that one.
So for those who are listening, that there was a page on Instagram that came out, and there's rumors that they're the what is it, the Desperate Housewives?
I don't know.
Desperate Housewives or something?
Desperate?
Oh no, I think it's the
Real Housewives.
The Real Housewives.
The Real Housewives was coming to Rhode Island. And, and there was an Instagram page that popped up, and apparently it's fake, that were like the contestants that were going to be on the show.
Yeah.
And you guys were one of them, along with a few other people.
How did I get involved?
There was somebody here that was doing
Did you know about that?
I've heard about it. You know what I'm saying? But like I say, it's a housewife
well, because
show.
You're Patrick Pass, though.
It has nothing to do with me. You know what I'm saying? So it's a wife show.
Yeah.
But
no, there was rumors that there was a company here. They were just looking to film for like an Italian show. Whatever.
Oh, okay.
I think everybody in Rhode Island tried out for it. Like,
and a lot of people know you. You guys. I see why you guys were on there.
Yeah.
I mean, like, hey, like if you want to, I mean, I have no contract right now that I know of. So
yeah, no,
I didn't know anything about the. Yeah.
I'm a behind the curtains type of dude. You know what I'm saying?
What are you guys doing right now for business? You guys have a business of your own, right?
I started M&M Tropicals. It's a
Ash,
country business.
Ash, can we pull this up on Instagram?
M&M.
M&M Tropicals.
Yeah.
So what you guys do is you guys pretty much deck out backyards,
I
front yards, and
import
stuff
them
like that?
from Miami. And then I get the shipment. Usually we got to wait till like the weather's like high 60s, low 70s for at least 10 days straight before they can come up here.
This is
to
it right
survive.
here?
Yeah.
I love.
That's our pool right there in the middle.
But palm trees can actually survive here?
Yeah.
But
not
up until
all
like
year.
November, December.
Up until it depends on which palm tree.
And do they die and come back?
No, they did.
So once they're gone, they're gone. Yeah.
Yeah.
But some people put them in their houses. Like,
some people, like if you have like
house.
tall ceilings, you could absolutely bring them in your house for sure.
Yeah. No, that sounds like it's. So how is it doing? Are you guys like busy with it?
Yeah, I mean, I started it a couple of years ago. It was coming to the point where, like, one of my friends that lives here, like, her parents' house, they always deck it out every summer, and it's just so relaxing. You could sit there all day long. You just feel like you're on vacation. I'm like, I need this.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
I know.
Rhode Island's great in the summer.
Right.
Why would you want to leave? Why not bring palm trees in, and you have your own vacation for the whole summer, like by your pool?
Yeah,
or
we don't leave our backyard.
We don't leave the backyard.
Not even go to the beach.
Yeah.
We don't need to go to the beach. So
scroll down, Ash, and click on that middle one. That's your backyard with the.
That one
right there.
Yeah.
I mean that's a dope setup right there.
Exactly.
We don't have that.
Why
we have
would you wanna
our
leave?
backyard is like wetlands basically. When
Yeah.
it rains out, it just we have a huge backyard, but it's just not anything that we can do anything with. That's awesome.
Oh yeah, there is me in the corner. I need to see that.
But I started
No, that
it
looks
with,
awesome.
Yeah.
So those will actually die out.
Yeah.
And then they got to get new ones, but that's great.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's the
that's
only
an awesome
sucky
look.
part, but that's, well, you got to buy new ones the year after.
Have you ever thought about doing like plastic, like artificial ones?
No.
And still doing, because I bet you can get artificial ones.
It's not the same because when you got that palm tree breeze in your backyard,
True, and the
you
noise
have
of
your
like
tropical music playing,
Yeah,
like
true,
from your
true.
surround sound, like in the back, like it's
You
just
teleport. It's like teleporting.
yeah, you really feel like you're in like Florida or somewhere tropical. But I was
Yeah.
telling my the guy that did my pool or whatever, and he loves palm trees too. I'm like, I'm so sick of calling so-and-so trying to get on their truck, and then we always get bumped off last minute for the trees, and then we would have to get a whole load. So it didn't make sense. I'm like, we should just start a palm tree business. He's like, all right. I'm like, no, wait, you serious? He's like, I'll do it. I'm like, okay. So that's what we did.
Wow.
We try to do pre-orders like March, April, because we'll get them the end of May or June. So like even people want to like put money down like for like 3 months in a row, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They could prepay.
Oh, that's cool.
Like, like 3 month installments.
So how much is a palm tree?
It all depends on the tree, but basically like a single palm, Christmas palm, like the one that Ty Law and from Los Andes, Diego, something like that, starts at like $3.99.
Is Ty Law involved with Los Andes?
No,
He was selling his vodka.
Oh.
Yep. Up here, a lot of people like the triples. Those go for about $4.99, but it also depends on like the pricing. So I need to find out pricing this year from the nursery because everything keeps going up.
Yeah.
We had a coconut tree in the backyard last
We had
year.
coconut
What?
trees.
Did it work?
Actually,
yeah.
We had
Really?
coconut, and she bought a little pineapple.
That's
The
awesome.
pineapple
man.
plants.
So what's the plan? You guys gonna eventually move down to Florida?
I would love to live in Florida, but I would also love to live in Italy too. Like I said, like he went last year for the first time. I've always celebrated my birthday there. I never celebrated my birthday in Rhode Island until I was older.
Yeah.
My whole family's there, so I'm like, you'll see, money doesn't mean shit in Italy. I have family members that like don't even work, and I have some that are like surgeons.
Yeah.
They don't make that much money, but you would never know who's who in the room. They
I
don't
love
care.
that. I love that.
That's the food.
You can have so much fun with no money out there, and everybody's just so happy.
Yeah.
It's just such an amazing feeling.
Yeah.
Like material things don't mean anything. It's just, I don't know. I love it.
Kids love it. We're going back.
Yeah. We're going back August.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we're gonna go. We're gonna go to Sardinia. Very soon.
Nice.
Very soon.
Definitely.
Yes.
Definitely go. Summer's the best time. August is the hottest. Like,
Oh my God, yeah.
Too
and
hot.
they don't like AC out there.
Of
Too
course
hot.
not.
Listen,
Yeah.
He
was-
sweats like I do.
I
Apparently.
was sweating like crazy. It was
Yeah.
like 95 the whole time.
Yeah.
And apparently
Was
they
it
don't
like
have
a
they don't have
humid
AC
95?
in
It's
the
you're
taxis.
dying.
Yeah.
They don't have AC.
It's like Florida.
In
They
the
don't-
taxi cabs.
Yeah.
Oh,
They-
gotcha.
They hate
Anywhere.
AC.
They don't like AC over
Hate
there. They
AC.
feel like it makes you sick.
That's because it does.
That's probably
It's
probably
just
why they live.
processed.
Probably one of the
Yeah.
reasons why they live so long is
But
just
they hate AC.
one of the very many reasons.
Yep.
Can't wait to go.
Yeah,
I'm
oh, you guys will have a
excited.
blast.
Yeah, I can't wait.
So do you speak Italian?
I speak the dialect, what my family speaks pretty much, but like if I went to Rome, they wouldn't know what I'm talking about.
yeah.
It's just
They
not,
are
it's just
there.
not the same.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
different languages and shit.
But yeah,
That's
I mean, if you want a
awesome.
palm tree this year,
Yeah, hit them up on
know.
Instagram. Is there
Yeah,
anything
I
else you
love
guys
palm
got, or
trees.
anything you want to?
I'm just really a stay-at-home dad.
Yeah, man, it's been a pleasure getting to know you, dude.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming on.
yeah,
That's
we
what I
have
do.
fun.
Yeah.
We crossed paths via the Freeman's party.
Oh, yeah.
For
Yeah.
Christmas.
Yeah,
Oh,
I didn't
yeah.
even know that was you.
Yeah, we had no
I had no
idea.
idea.
Oh, we
Where?
listen.
What was that? New Year's?
I recognized your outfit. I thought it was so cool,
Oh,
and
that-
so I
uh,
was looking on Instagram. I'm not
Donnell-
from Rhode Island,
Donnell-
so that's how I'm
Alicia's thing.
finding
At
out
the
how
district?
Yeah.
people are. And I was
district,
like,
yeah.
Oh,
I
yeah,
remember
we was
her
there.
outfit,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I was like, oh, her husband's Patrick Pass. He's like, Patrick Pass.
Yeah.
He's like, that
I was like,
Patrick
I was like, Patrick Pass was there?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God, we've been
So-
friends with them for years.
Yeah, they're
So cool.
awesome. What an
Yeah.
awesome
Yeah.
family.
Yeah, they.
Yeah,
We
they're
had
the
them
best.
on recently. And
Yeah.
they were fun, man. They were fun. And
Yeah.
I
They're
got
like
to know
family.
I got to
They're
know Donnell
incredible.
at the district, and we talked for like an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, you should come on the podcast. That's how we ended
Yeah.
up getting them on. But
Oh, we had way too much fun that night.
yeah.
That was a blast.
It
That
was
was good
so fun.
energy.
Yeah,
it was fun.
we love to. When we go out, we love to dance.
Yeah.
Like, we love weddings. Like, we love going
Yeah.
to weddings. Cause we would dance all night long. And then we fucking complain all the next day our feet hurt. But that's our definition of fun. We're really laid back couple.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Well, maybe we'll see you guys on TV soon. Who knows if they ask you. And give another shout out to Bug.
Bug,
Bug shows,
my boy.
shows
Yeah,
hot
he's
sauce
out
there.
here, you know, the barbecue sauce.
You guys can come get it at 119 Social Street in Woonsocket and 191 Social Street, Woonsocket, downstairs, first floor. Awesome barbecue food. What's your favorite thing to barbecue, real quick?
Me,
Ribs.
ribs.
Yeah.
So I
Ribs.
do my own dry
You
rub.
soak them before you.
It all depends on how much time I have.
Yeah,
If I'm doing like the 3-2-1 method, then I'll soak it the night before.
yeah. You do the Coca-Cola or anything? Or
No, I use apple cider vinegar.
Ooh,
Okay.
If I'm
yeah.
soaking.
Oh, the whole thing?
Yeah.
Apple? Really?
Yeah.
I gotta try that.
Yep. And then the next morning, pat them dry. I have my own concoction of dry rub that I
Yep.
use. I do that. Put them on the grill for about 2 hours. Wrap them for about 2 hours. Take them off. It's a whole process.
Yeah.
But that's if I'm like taking my time.
Yeah.
You know, which I normally do.
Well, we'll get together soon, man, and
Yeah.
we'll do some food. 'Cause,
Yeah.
You'll have to come
I'm a-
over this summer.
Yeah,
I'd
I'm a
love
big
to.
grill
I wanna
guy.
see your
That'd be
backyard.
awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
All right, guys, thank you very much for
Thanks for
coming on.
having us.
Thank you.